The lights are bright, let me tell you.
Pretty clear. Read your statement. Do they have a time limit?
There's no American flag either.
Yeah, we're
Hello, everyone. We are going to start a little bit later. Obviously, there's a lot of people here. There's still people that are trying to park, and there is limited parking at this location. So we want to give everyone the opportunity that wants to show up to have a little bit extra time to arrive. So we are going to start here just a little bit later than 5, okay? Thank you.
Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 check 1.
Are you getting it? Yeah.
Okay.
David bring a flag?
Yeah, do we have a flag? In your bag.
We gotta call David to go back and get the flag.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we need a flag. Can you go back? Angel asked if you can go back and get the flag.
Okay, yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna put it through.
That's fine. Yeah. to go.
No, we're not answering.
The back. It's in the back? Okay, hold on. Is it all the way in the bottom? The little red? Yeah, we got it. Thank you so much. The red one's Anna. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, you, that's for you wanted.
And then are we passing clipboards out? Hold on. With the signage sheets? You want to go back there and get some signage? Or put one on each one? No, we don't need those anymore. Go put a signage back at one and bring them back.
No, just get the max you can get.
If anybody has an empty seat next to them, raise your hand, because a lot of people sit in the back. Right down here, folks, we got some empty seats. Over this way, we have some empty seats. Let's get them filled. It's going to be a long meeting.
Where's my agenda? Where's my agenda? Okay, here's the agenda. These are the approved minutes. Where's Antoine's thing at? Let me see here. Antoine's thing was. Oh, I thought I had it in here. Yes, we will need that when he takes his seat.
Alicia?
Hello? 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 No. They said no. They said don't send anything out. We'll just take the ones that signed in, and anybody else, they'll have to get in line at the end. We'll hear them out after we conduct our business. Thank you. Bye. Angel. No, turn it on. Hold on.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Where's my agenda? Where's my agenda? Where's my agenda?
Welcome to Joliet Township Government's regular board meeting for Tuesday, October 10th, 2023. We're starting at 5:17 p.m. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call for attendance, please?
Yes. Trustee Arias? Here. Trustee Escutia?
Here.
Trustee Slattery? Here. Supervisor Contreras?
Here. All right. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for a regular town board meeting for September 12th, 2023.
So we're not going to. So there are other members of, first of all, we're not going to be addressing comments throughout the meeting, but you have a good question, and I won't address any more. But the assessor is with the Joliet Township, but he is not a member of the legislative body that's necessary to make quorum for a meeting. That's all. You'll meet me very soon. My name's Brian Wellner. I'm the attorney for Joliet Township.
Want me to make the I'd like to make the motion to approve the minutes of the regular town board meeting of September 12th, 2023.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next item, approval for minutes for a public bid hearing for a contract for a road district 2023-03 on September 25th, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the public bid hearing for contract 2023-03 Road District on September 25th, 2023.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Wellner. I'm the attorney for Joliet Township. Thank you all for attending tonight's meeting. The township understands that many of you are concerned with a grant application that was recently awarded to Joliet Township by the state of Illinois. And the township moved to this location because we welcome your comments, and the township appreciates the time that you took out of your evening to come here tonight to find out information and to provide us your feedback. The township wanted to ensure that there's sufficient parking and space for you all to hear. If at any point in time you can't hear, please let somebody know, raise a hand, let it be known, but also please be respectful that people are trying to listen around you, and that we are audio and visually recording this meeting. So we want to make sure that we have a clear recording so anyone that could not make it tonight can hear what happened this evening. One thing that I would like to note is that tonight's meeting has a specific agenda that has certain items that the township is allowed to take final action on. One thing that is not on the agenda tonight is any final action related to the asylum seeker grant. That's not what the
Be
meeting.
respectful.
That's not what tonight's meeting was designed for. It's a regular board meeting.
Disrespectful that you do this and don't let us speak about it.
Well,
You
That's disrespect.
while it's not on the agenda for final action by the township, we welcome all of your comments, and if every single person wants to make a comment about the grant, you are afforded that opportunity. I just don't want all of you to expect that there will be a final decision by the township tonight. If people are disruptive in the meeting, then they will be asked to leave the meeting. Please be respectful so everyone can hear tonight. Thank you.
I'd like to, as the clerk,
Yes.
I'd like to make a statement, please. Again, we're going to give people time to speak. I have a list of those that signed in to speak. We are excited to be here to hear you, to hear what you have to say, because we value what you have to say. So those of you that spoke, that signed these sheets, I will be calling you in 5 at a time to make a line right here so that you can share your public comment. So we want to hear what the public, you are important and you matter, and we want to hear you. But we have to do it in an orderly and civil manner. Thank you. Last thing I want to say is I'd like to just kick off our meeting. I noticed that our city council kicks off their meeting with prayer. So I'd like to say, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me show love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love, for it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born into eternal life. Thank you. Amen.
So the reason why I highlight that it's not on the agenda tonight is because I know that there were news reports and I know that there were Facebook posts that led all of you to believe that there may be action tonight, but there never was an agenda item for that. It still does not mean that you don't get the right to speak on it. You get the right to speak on it. Public comment will proceed, if you're not familiar, as follows. You only speak during public comment and each person that wishes to speak will absolutely have that opportunity. To help keep the order, we have the sign-up sheets at the entrance. However, once we exhaust everyone on that list, anyone that didn't sign up will still have the opportunity to speak on anything that you'd like to speak on related to township government, including the grant application that's been discussed in the press. Speakers are welcomed and encouraged to speak on behalf of a group if you're speaking on behalf of one, to ensure that everyone has enough time to be heard at tonight's meeting. You're also welcomed and encouraged to state that you support someone else's position. Everyone here understands that just because you're brief doesn't mean that you care less about an issue than someone that spoke longer on the issue. When you do come to the microphone for public comment, please state your name clearly, and if it's a tricky name, spell it, because our clerk is taking minutes and we want to make sure that your comments are accurately reported. Once you complete your comment, you'll be seated, and then you won't have a second opportunity to speak, but we will have other meetings, and there is contact information for the township's officials on the website. So if at any point in time you forgot something or want to supplement a comment, you're welcome to reach out to the township officials or to come to the next board meeting. The next regularly scheduled board meeting will be November 8th. If you have your comments should be directed at the township board generally. You should not be singling any person out. Public comment is your time to make a comment. It is not question and answer. If you have questions, you're certainly welcome to ask your questions, but there's not going to be a dialogue back and forth between the board and public commenters. Once public comment is closed, the township will proceed with the agenda, and they may address some things in the reports, but they are not here to answer every single question. At some time later, when there is a decision, I'm sure that the township will be making a press release about that. Last but not least, I ask that all of you be respectful to one another in this room. The township is not limiting your comments by time, but understand that there's a lot of people here. We want everyone to have an opportunity, so please be aware that everyone in this room may want to speak. That's all that I have. Thank you, Supervisor.
Well, good afternoon again, everyone. My name is Angel Contreras. I'm the Joliet Township Supervisor. It's always good to see a room full of residents ready to participate in the civic process. So thank you all for taking the time to be here today. As you all know, this is no ordinary meeting, as the township faces an extraordinary circumstances due to events beyond our control. I'll start by clarifying a bit about what the township does and does not do. We work every day to secure resources for people in Joliet, often from grants. We do not have any say in federal immigration policy. When confronted with the crisis, we are limited by advocating for distributing emergency resources as they become available. The inclusion of the City of Joliet and Joliet Fire Department logos on the application was an oversight. However, both institutions were involved about the grant opportunity in a meeting which took place at City Hall. And that has been documented both by the City of Joliet in their press release, on their website, and we're acknowledging that that did happen. Let me be clear about this situation we're facing. A lack of federal leadership on this issue has resulted in asylum seekers reaching our borders that are being bused by the thousands to cities for a political stunt to create chaos and attention. These buses are dropping people off in the middle of the night without notice to local officials in Chicago. It has been a major vocal point about this campaign. As many as 1,500 asylum seekers show up every day, overwhelming social service providers and straining community resources across the board. This is already happening around here. We have already seen a large influx of asylum seekers in our area. The Spanish Community Center has already documented at least 2,200 people seeking assistance through their organization since last year. Similarly, Will Grundy Medical Center has seen an increase in demand for their services, and local food pantries have been under strain. The purpose of this grant was to help our community partners who serve individuals beyond the township, county, and city boundaries keep up with not only the people new to the team, but their existing residents. As of today, Joliet Township has not accepted the $8.6 million grant. Nothing has been finalized, and we are here to listen to your concerns. Any future plans will be brought to all members of elected bodies and open discussion and public input. The Joliet City Manager again first brought this opportunity to my attention in a meeting on August 9th. And then the city manager was not there at that meeting, but we did have a meeting with some city employees, with Will Grundy Medical, Joliet Township government, myself, and Spanish Community Center on September 1st at City Hall. So then the grant was quickly submitted on September 15th, and then we received official notice that we were awarded on October 2nd. The grant, again, was intended to benefit many local agencies who are currently inundated with asylum seekers, so that may increase their service to accommodate our existing residents and those struggling with the cost of living increases. This is a reactive request grant to address current issues. It was not intended to bring more people into our areas. I would like to ask to everyone actually in the Joliet community to find solutions also for the current problems facing our most vulnerable members in our community today. I hear the concerns of my neighbors and friends over this issue, and folks have reached out to me directly on social media posts and making statements in the press. I can promise you today that our office is going to continue to tirelessly connect the entire existing community around the township with all available resources and address their emergency housing, healthcare, food, and insecurity needs that we have always done for all our residents, as we already do. Finally, as I mentioned earlier, we are considering all options. We welcome your comments tonight, and I assure you the town board will take them into consideration as we decide how to move forward to amend or withdraw the grant application. So with that, I ask that you all please do not dehumanize each other. Do not dehumanize anyone. We're all children of God, so please voice your concerns respectfully. And now the floor is open for public comments. Our clerk Morales will address 5 names at a time. Please be respectful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Supervisor Contreras. First person that signed up is Brian Beck. If you can come to the podium, and then the following 4, if you can get in line behind him. I have Steve Deaton. Can you guys please be quiet? Hey, we are trying to run a civil meeting here, so please control yourself.
I don't
Thank
appreciate
you.
blasphemy.
Hold on, I'm not finished, sir. Second person, Steve Deaton. Steve Deaton, can you please get in line?
Why don't you take that mask off so we can hear you?
You can hear me. I have a microphone. Can I have Tony Siraj? And also Reverend Larry Ellis. And the 5th person, Mr. Lee Johnson. And be respectful and civil. If you're not, you are welcome to leave.
First of all, I don't appreciate blasphemy from you. Talking about a child of God does not endear me to you. If you want to come up with solutions on how we can move these people out of here. We have enough problems, and that's clear by the condition of the roads in this city. How much do we pay you? How much do your masters, these people, pay you? Do you live here? Do you live here?
This is not a question answer.
I asked if this man lives in this city that he's making decisions for the citizenry about.
This is not a question answer, sir. Say what you have to say and move on. Thank
I
you.
say he doesn't have the guts to answer me, because even if he does have a house here, I bet he can go somewhere else with the money that we pay him. We pay him.
If you knew the
I'm your master
township
too, and so are these people.
If you knew township government works, you would know we have to live in the township.
This
We have
is
to
my
live in the
city.
township. Thank
This
you.
is their city.
Thank you. Next one. Mr. Deaton, can you say your name for the record and your address, please?
Steve Deaton. My address?
Yes, sir.
1504 Catherine Street. And first of all, to set the record straight on what the township's duties are. The township, you guys are to come here and sit at that table with your mouth shut, and these people are to come here and join together as township citizens and tell you what they want done in this community, not for you to dictate to us what's best for us. And if anybody has been paying attention to the TV, We've got Palestinians marching in Chicago. We've got Palestinians marching in New York. We've got unrest in the streets. When my ancestors came here, they spent 30 days in quarantine to make sure there were no diseases brought into this country. There was a reason. There was a reason for that. And you have all gone out of your bounds to invite these people here. We have no vetting at the border. They give them a card with $2,000 on it, ship them anywhere they want to go, give them a cell phone that's paid with our taxpayer money, and you have no right to dictate where our tax dollars go. Your job is to come here and listen to what this community needs, listen to what our ideas are, and you're supposed to implement them. You're not there to decide what is best for these people in this community. And we're tired of it. And we're tired of three-time felons bending down at our knees for rich politicians like Governor Pritzker down in Springfield. That's the problem. The problem is we got a table full of 5 politicians and no community leaders, and that goes up to the side wall back over there, too. I yield my time.
Thank you, Mr. Deaton. We heard you. Next, state your name, please, and your address.
Anthony Schrei, 1522 Catherine. Steve's my neighbor. We came here together. Why? Why? Why did I come home early a day for my 33rd anniversary to hear this crap and discuss what my neighbor, what we're going to do with the problems in the neighborhood? It pains my heart. You know, this is a goddamn good guy. There was our government, Banana Joe Babbage. Hell of a guy. He talked to the people. If you claim you don't know anything about this, why did we already purchase that friggin' Peter Claver Center? You already got it in the works. You know? And is this the norm? Usually when I have a lawyer, well, lately you need a lawyer next to you, huh? Hey, is it the norm? Mr. Slater, you've been around a long time. Is it the norm to have a legal counsel present all the time? It is the norm to have one at every meeting. Oh, okay. Usually when I bring a lawyer, I'm in trouble. So I'm going to let it go before my big mouth gets me in more trouble.
Reverend Larry Ellis, St. Mark Church, here in Joliet, Illinois. My question this evening is, when this decision was made, where was the representation for the very communities that this is going to affect? And it will undoubtedly affect the east side of Joliet and the south side of Joliet in the impoverished areas. So why was there not any representation for that? I think we were misled about the Peter Claver Center, about exactly what that was for. It was supposed to be, and my understanding is it was supposed to be for community outreach programs. The whisper in the neighborhood is that it was going to be asylum seekers stop-off for them coming in to Joliet first. And as I said, what my question is, I'm upset, I'm pissed off, simply because we have not been told anything. First of all, we weren't told about the grant. Second, we weren't told about who was coming into our neighborhoods. And as I said, I think that's disgraceful. So I yield the floor.
Hello, my name is Lee Johnson. I'm at 911 Stonegate in Joliet. Thank each of you for your willingness to serve and for giving us the opportunity to say what's on our minds. Americans for hundreds of years have believed the government derives its just powers from the governed. The one thing that I have to say is we have not consented to what is going on here. Citizens have not given our consent to efforts of settlement of foreign nationals in Joliet whose immigration status isn't clearly legal. If we what we read in Herald News is accurate, then the township supervisor or trustees, mostly on their own, have purchased property for Welcome Center and solicited tax money. We pay these taxes, okay? It appears the township trustees did not vote on this. It appears Joliet's mayor and city council were not effectively included in this. We citizens pay taxes for welcome centers, if there is a welcome center, in public services for foreign nationals coming into our country. This is our township, and we wish to be included and give our consent if something is appropriate. We watch on TV news and see big cities dealing with problems resulting from busing foreign nationals in from our southern border. And we oppose establishing welcome centers like this in our township, in our city, Joliet. We citizens call for upholding the law and keeping our township safe and prosperous. Please take this into account in further action.
The next 5 speakers I have listed as Dennis Cesario, Greg Lawrenson, Mark Singleberry, thank you, Kevin Martins, thank you, and then Diana Dobchak. So if you can please make your way to the podium, we'd love to hear your comments. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
My name is Dennis Cesario. I live at Center and Ross, and I'm not here for what we've been talking about. I'm here for the people who are citizens of the United States and the children that cross that corner. I'm looking for 2 stop signs on Center. I have a deep love for children, being a grandfather of 6. There's been 31 vehicle accidents since November 2021 at this intersection of Center and Ross. Hoorah! 4 individuals have been hospitalized, numerous accounts of speeding down both streets, going straight through the stop sign. I personally have witnessed lots of these accidents, running away from vehicles coming down from Center. One woman running out of her shoe to get away from a speeding vehicle going northbound on Center. And the children going across, trying to cross from Ross, trying to cross Center. It's being impossible. It's very impossible. This is my 7th attempt. I've even tried to, I went down to Springfield. I've talked to everybody I can to try to get 2 stop signs and flashing lights on Center.
Can you keep quiet, officer? Can you escort this man out if he continues? Thank you.
All it will take is 1 child to be killed, and I think Joliet will get the stop signs down there, but I don't want to see that happen. We need the 2 stop signs on Center with the 2 flashing lights. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Greg Lawrenson, Lawrenson. I live at 804 Hollow Glen here in Joliet. I would like to just simply say to you, you said our support systems are strained. I don't doubt that. But those systems are meant for these people. They're not meant for foreigners from another country. These people are not citizens. They've never paid into the system. They come here seeking this. I know you have federal deals to deal with. You have state issues to deal with. Illinois has lost population every year for almost 20 years because of the way the state's being run. They're not listening to the citizens. They're simply going with an agenda that's a narrative that's being pushed at a federal level. What we want from you, we can meet and talk about how we can make those resources better for our citizens in this town, because these are my fellow Americans. Those people are not. What I want to give them is a ticket home. Buy them an airplane ticket and send them back to their country of origin. That's all I got to say.
Wow, how do you follow that? My name is Mark Singletary. I live at 611 Bevan Drive, Joliet. I was kind of excited when I heard that close to $10 million grant going to come into the city of Joliet. Say, for instance, that's additional 500 immigrants coming into the city. Head of household, that's about $2,000 per head of household. If you extrapolate a little more, and it's the nuclear family, it's going to be on an average of three people to the head of household. So you're looking at additional 15,000 people coming into the city, where our population per 2021 census was 150,000. Right now, our roads can't handle the situation as it is. The hospitals are overwhelmed. The police force is overwhelmed. The fire department's overwhelmed, and we're going to be, with this grant, bringing an additional 15,000 people plus into the city. All these people are not good people. And you can look at it's Wikipedia and look at and take it for what it's for. The Mario boat lift that happened in Cuba in 1980. The dates were from April 15th to October 31st, 1980. On average, Miami got 125,000 immigrants. And if you look at notable people that were in there, yes, there were some great people. Jazz singers, artists, but there was pedophiles, there was serial killers, there was rapists, there was murderers. Who's going to pay for this additional cost to, root these people out of the system? They're not being vetted. They're not being vetted. We're not even talking about the disease that's coming with, the first gentleman talked about it. They're not U.S. citizens. I know we can't make an internment camp, but it's not going to be pretty. The average taxpayer, I want to see a hand. Who all here lives in Joliet? Raise your hand. Right here. There's over 400 people in here right now that pay on average $5,000 a year in property taxes. Look at that. That number extrapolated, 5,000 times 400 is over $2 million in 1 year. So what's going to happen is, when the crime starts to go up, one of two things is going to happen. The people are either going to leave, because I'm done, I want to leave Illinois, I don't want this anymore. They're going to run, or the other thing that's going to happen, and I do not condone violence. I do not condone violence. My father was a World War II vet. I always ask them about the war. There's a lot of vets in here. I can tell and see. Thank you for your service. What my father always said to me, because he never talked to about it, just one time, he said, we took care of the situation. And I'm not condoning vigilantism, but when people are pushed to their limits, they're going to do what they have to do so that their family comes first. The city of Joliet is known as the city of champions. I don't want it to become known as the city of chumps. Please do not vote for this or bring this money here. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. Everything you said is 100% correct. My name is Diana Dobchik. I live at 1717 Maple Road. I am 61 years old. I am a lifelong East Side Joliet resident. And aside from this asylum, I've called your office. As you know, we live across the street, kitty corner from Hilltop Drive-In. I have made many of complaints of the Hispanic community that goes there. I'm not opposed to it. 11, 12 o'clock at night, my windows are vibrating. You seem to do nothing about it. I've called you, I've talked to you, I've talked to your father, I've talked to all the people that are involved in that, own that property, and nothing has been done. And it's not just the legal immigrants that are there, it's the illegals, and they are leaving their trash. They're leaving their beer cans, their needles, everything on my front lawn. So if you think you want to bring them here and it's going to be all peachy and rosy for the city of Joliet and Joliet Township, it is not, because I am a tax-paying citizen, and you're not helping me. But you want to help people that are not helping this community. My husband works hard, I work hard. We try to keep things involved with everything that's going on here. You have this position, and I didn't see it on a ballot. I didn't see it on a referendum. I didn't even see anything until the Patch posted something about it. How does the Patch know things before tax-paying citizens know things? And I just want to address my township. You work for us, like that gentleman said. I am going to be on you now, because this is not working for us.
Steve Chemnitz, 1714 Kelly Avenue. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your comments. It's going to be hard to beat that. I realize this ain't a question and answer thing, so I'm just going to give you all the answer. This is the answer, okay? For one, okay, what we have here is very unconstitutional to begin with, okay? They shouldn't be here, okay? And you can't sit there and say, do as we say, not as we do. No, we're not going to do as you say, okay? For one, I think maybe I'll try to get your job, okay? Because you are not a true American then.
Oh.
All right? If you ever pick up a rifle and serve your country? Have you? Okay? I'll tell you what, I lost many brothers, and I'll tell you what right now. And I know for a fact they're rolling in their graves. And you people sitting down here, right here, what is it? What is the whole... I'm not prejudiced because I hate everybody equally. You got to earn my respect. I'm going to ask you something. Are all you're all Hispanic. There's one white guy. So who's going to pay for all this stuff? Down the road, we're kicking the can down the road. Like the one lady said about the property taxes, okay? My property taxes go up and up and up every year, okay? And then I got on some of you government officials, and yours are going down. And you know what? I'll post the stuff. I'm self-employed. I got plenty of time to FOIA. I pay $100 a month to check you people out. And I'm going to be on you. And I'm going to say this one final time. This is unconstitutional. You need to be sued. Okay? You need to be sued, and you people, you need to start voting Republican. This whole township needs to go. Okay? The steel plant's closed down. I've been self-employed for 36 years in this town. I built a ton of homes, and I'll tell you what, I pay my taxes. It'll be fine and dandy. If they all come here, give them a tax ID number, and I personally want to see they pay their taxes. I don't want to pay them. They don't want to pay them. They don't want to pay them.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, can I have Katie Dean Schmaltman come to the podium, and I'm going to name the other four. Greg Dobchek. Is Katie Dean Schmaltman here?
No, my name's Kevin Martin.
Come on in. You're next in the list. You
Okay.
can let her speak,
Hey,
sir. She's
I got a
next.
question.
Sir, she's next.
Who?
The lady behind you. Okay, Katie, Greg, if Greg can get in line, and then Greg Bobchek, Julie Berkowitz. No, let me finish, please. Julie Berkowitz, and then Caleb Gossman, or Goosen, and then Tina McElrath.
McGrath.
Thank you. So those are the next that signed up on our list. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Sir, what's your name? That was in the back.
Sir, what was your name?
Kevin Martis.
Did we call him?
Kevin Martis.
I think he was called.
I believe so too.
Yeah. He needs.
Okay, then Kevin, yeah, I thought you were one of, then somebody spoke out of line before you.
And a
Thank
lot
you,
of
sir.
a lot of
Thank you.
individuals are giving their address. You do not need to give your address. You're welcome
Yeah.
to, but you don't need to.
Are you bored today? Is that why you're here? Y'all are bored. Contreras, you. Why the hell would you put the mayor's name on something to the governor's office? Ain't that illegal? Huh? You know, what are you thinking? Do you need to tell the governor or the mayor of Joliet that, oh, you signed off? Who elected you anyways? Because I sure the hell didn't vote for her. Say what? Just hold on. We ain't getting into that just right now. Why y'all look so bored? You know, like y'all stunned. Like we're all here like, oh, why are we here? Because you all suck.
Sir, keep your comments
Whatever.
respectful.
Hey, listen.
Thank you.
My family
Thank you.
ran this damn county. The Goulds, the Martises. My aunt was the county clerk. I had numerous judges and uncles and aunts as lawyers. Whatever. You guys look like a bunch of freaking clowns. Get out of here.
Thank you. Katie, you have, thank you.
Hi, my name is Katie Dean Schlotman, and full disclosure, I am a member of the Will County Board. And I have to tell you, as a member of the Will County Board, I speak for myself and Cheryl Gallo, and I can say we are concerned with the population of our own unhoused families in Will County. It is unacceptable to me that you would be putting the needs of others over our own citizens in Will County. To the point where I want to say as well, to all those who served our great country in this room, all the veterans, I myself am an Air Force veteran. I am happy to be part of your group. We took an oath to serve our country, and when I stopped that oath, I decided to serve my community again. And it is our job to protect taxpayers. People cannot take us raising taxes anymore and using our tax dollars to provide for people who aren't paying into that system. It's unacceptable. When you go out and apply for a grant from the governor's office or from the city, because the city of Chicago, which declared themselves a sanctuary city, Joliet did not. Joliet's problems, unfortunately, should not be because the city made a bad choice. So the audacity of this township to think that you are going to take a grant which will strain the other entities around you. I sat in public safety and public health today, and public health is concerned that with an influx of people, we are going to have a strain on ourselves. We have a strain already from our own citizens. So it is up to you to decide who you want to serve, yourselves or the citizens. Another concern I have is the grant that was written for this. That grant was written by Christy McNichols. Was she part of the grant writing? She also was part of the grant writing for the VAC. And there was money mismanaged there to the point where she left the VAC. When that money, $495,000, couldn't be accounted for, was a problem. Also, the Copperfield building, that needs to go to our vets. Coming to the county and asking for that, I can assure you that I will fight for no votes for that. That is not something that should go to people who are not residents. It should go to, you can roll your eyes at me all you want, but I'm elected just like you. And I'm accountable to them, and I'm here for them. So at the end of the day, again, I ask you to think about who you serve and who you want to serve, because I know who I serve. That's all.
Greg? Go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I just wanted to say that I was raised to believe that you work for what you get and you get what you work for. And we're all, and there's not too many kids around here, and everybody here has put in their time and more. And I know that we have a hard enough time taking care of our own problems. And I don't know if you guys drive around Joliet and see all the people on the corners. It's sad. You know, you don't know who to believe because you want to give and you want to help. But the problem is everybody's used to getting everything for nothing, and the louder you cry, the more you give them. And I just know that my personal opinion is I don't believe you're fixing a problem, you're creating one. And as far as money goes, it always seems to go to the other places to where it's really supposed to go. And when the money's gone, these people aren't coming here to visit, they're coming here to stay. So when your money runs out, then who pays and takes care of it? Then what do we do? Who's covering the bill then? It'll be us here, and we're having a hard enough time surviving this world as it is. We're not prejudiced, and we're not trying to deprive anybody of anything. We're just trying to look out for the people that are from here first. And then we can worry about helping the others. Thank you.
Julie Berkowitz. Hello, my name is Julie Berkowitz, and I am also a Will County Board and Forest Preserve Commissioner. I represent all the residents in Will County, north, south, east, or west. I came across a contract, a Garda World contract, on September 27th that was published on a government website that stated that Will County would provide services to these refugees. I reached out to our county executive to say, why are we on a contract? Go to page 118 and see that this contract states that we will be providing services, tent cities, and all other types of things. This contract was not for residents who are here now. It was not. You made a reference that it was. These monies are not going to go to those people. They're going to go to the people who will be sent to us apparently on buses. We had no voice in that contract, and apparently our county executive says she didn't know anything about that either. On September 27th, I don't think she reached out to Governor Pritzker to say, hey, why is Will County on a contract, a signed contract? And not only are we on page 118, but when you continue to read that contract, there are multiple other layers of service that they continue to reference Will County and a number of other counties as service providers. It's between the state of Illinois and the grant applicant, which is Joliet Township. And it is out there, it is a public document. It's Garda World, they provide emergency Garda World. So, but I'm here to speak for the people. Here, at the county, we are responsible for the public safety and the welfare of our residents and our businesses. People who call this Joliet and the Will County areas home. We're also responsible to our businesses. We have all of our units coming to us and asking for help. We have our tuberculosis, Sunny Hill Tuberculosis Clinic, asking for help. Guess what? Tuberculosis is rising. They have a 10% increase in cases and a 14% increase in mortality, and that's only on the cases they can find. These cases, these people are coming into our country and they are not vetted. They are not tested for these types of diseases that kill our population. And I know because my grandfather died of tuberculosis. He was in the Philippines and they refused to let him enter this country because he was sick, and our government's responsibility was to protect our people. And they did that. So we have our sheriff's department, law and order. We are a nation of law and order. And they don't have enough resources. We have our Will County's VAC. They're there for our veterans who serve our country, serve our Constitution, protect the rights that we take for granted, the right to assemble and speak freely like we are doing now. They are the reason we are standing here today. And they continue. And thank you to all. Stand up if you're a veteran. If you're a veteran, please stand up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Caleb, can I have Caleb Goosen, please, next?
We have other parts of county government that also need more resources. We get our resources from the taxpayer. Our taxpayers are reaching out to us and they're saying, we cannot sustain any more. We're hurting. We're working. We're paying our taxes. We can't do any more. And I will close. There's other ways where we're trying to address these issues on a county level. We're tired at the county of having Springfield go above us, above the citizens, our voice, eliminating our voice, and pretending like we don't exist. Now I'm going to speak as a resident. People in my community, my family, the Filipino community, we all know a lot of Filipinos. They're doctors, they're nurses, they're in medicine. They're all asking me why they came here legally. Many of them waited years to go through the process. They had to have financial support. They went through the motions, and they did it because they appreciated and they realized that they had a commitment when they came here. They become Americans. And they're asking me, why? Why is this happening? It's an insult to them. And as an elected official and a citizen, we need to respect the law. So I would ask you, as a county official, retract this grant. We are not prepared. We need to take care of our own. We have issues here. We need to strengthen our foundation. We have a lot of work to do.
Thank you. Please keep your comments short. We have a long list of people. Thank you. Mr. Caleb, thank you so much.
Caleb Goosen is my name. You need me to spell it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, last name is Goossen.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have questions as a resident as well. Some of it maybe is not understanding. I hear what you're saying, and for me, I came here more with questions than I did with already formed opinions. And so, to me, it seems like when I speak to you, when I hear you speaking, that the money is intended to come in to deal with a situation that we've already been dealing with for years. And so if that's the case, and the feeling I get from what I'm hearing is that there's already a lot of stress on our different agencies in the community that are not only dealing with asylum situations, but other departments as well, fire department, police department, those kinds of things. Is this money intended to help relieve some of that? It sounds like, when I hear you speaking, that's what it sounds like. It's intended to bring relief to our community because of a situation that was imposed by us on the federal level. This is not something we had a part in making happen. This is a situation that's happening in Joliet. It sounds like you're trying to provide some relief. So it sounds well intended when I hear you speaking. And so I guess that's the question. In what ways is that meant to bring relief? It sounds like maybe somebody had read there's some ways that that's spelled out already. But that would be a question that would provide, I think, a lot of clarification for people like myself who have these kinds of questions. And to me, that sounds like a great thing. If that's what it is, it's meant to bring relief to Joliet. If that's what it is for a situation that we already have, That sounds like that's a helpful thing. Also, is there a way to vet people that we are helping? That's another question I have as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Next person, Tina McGrath.
Hi, Tina McGrath. So, as I sit here and I look at all your faces, I know how difficult this must be for you to sit here, and I wanted to come out guns blazing like some of the others. I don't want to do that. I respect your office, and these people are here because they're, number one, they're scared. They have no idea what's going on. There was no transparency. They don't hate you. They're tired of being lied to. They are lied to at every level of government. We're told that crime is down, that inflation is down, that the border is closed. It's all lies. So when we find out something like this, it's dropped on a Friday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we read about it in the patch, it makes people wonder, what the heck is going on? I know your intentions were good, but the path to hell is paved with good intentions. The path to hell is paved with good intentions, and we all know that. So, the devil is in the details. Part of this grant that some of you may have missed, this $8.6 million, part of that is going to be used to hire 17 new staff. 17 staff who are entitled to full benefits plus pensions. Pensions. How long is this magical $8.6 million supposed to last? Now, here's a piece that I honed in on that I think everybody needs to know this, especially in light of what we've just witnessed in the Middle East. The Welcome Center staff will undergo training to inclusively and sensitively provide coordinated care, case management, and assessment for individuals and families identified as asylum seekers. Here's part of the training for the staff working with them. Comprehensive overview of immigration law, disrupting deportation, how to effectively vacate your non-citizens' criminal convictions for immigration purposes. So you will be helping to hide the criminal history of asylum seekers and then dumping them in our neighborhoods. No, these people deserve more than that. We pay our taxes, we are good citizens, we want to raise our children in safe places. You owe us better than that. At least you owe us an opportunity to tell you to withdraw this grant. None of us want it. It's unfair. You have to these people just want to live in peace. We don't want to be here. We want to be home with our families, but we're forced to be here. And we will continue to be here. It is time to take your government back, folks. Wake up.
Thank you. Okay, next I have
I got here late and couldn't sign up, so I'm just going to cut in line. I don't need my government's permission or blessing to speak.
Oh my goodness. I'd like to call the rest of the 5 before you speak so they can make their way down to the podium. Jen Monson, if Jen Monson can please come on. Cindy, officer, I need help here. Thank you. Second person to the podium.
What I have to say?
Second person to the podium. Sir, be respectful. Cindy Niedmeyer.
I'll do that when you do that to your taxpayers.
We are. Cindy Niedmeyer, Ruth Slattery, Queen Chiaro, Kiana Chiaro, and Felipe Francini is the 5th person. So if I can have those 5 to the podium, I'd appreciate that. Is this Jen?
Yep.
Go ahead, ma'am. You have the floor.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Jen Monson, and I'll just start over. My name is Jen Monson. I'm a member of Shorewood, but my roots are in Joliet. I was brought home from the hospital to a little house on Benton Street. I'm actually here to represent a family member who lives on Cass Street and has lived there since 1953. And just a side note, she came on the boat all by herself, pregnant with my mom from Italy, the legal way. There has been an ongoing homeless problem in this area. There are constant disturbances causing police and fire to be dispatched to the area. This past summer, police and fire were dispatched to the residence of my family member because they set their front yard on fire. The homeless people set her yard on fire. So, and it came close to the house, but luckily a neighbor was out and saw it happen, was able to alert the authorities. The homeless citizens have also excavated the foundation of the bridge to create a shelter. So if you drive over the Cass Street Bridge, just know that there's a big hole underneath it because it's been excavated. Let's see. Police and fire and township have told my family member that there's nothing that can be done. Sorry, there's nothing we can do about these people who basically live in your front yard, come to your house and take your water without your permission, set your yard on fire. There's nothing we can do. My point in sharing this is if Joliet Township is unable or unwilling to help the homeless citizens within the boundaries of the township, how willing will you be to actually help with the influx of non-citizens? Also, the massive influx of high-needs people will cause a strain on not only Joliet, but the surrounding communities. And I cannot believe that I am standing here before elected officials, petitioning you to follow the rule of law, to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, and to represent the citizens you were elected to serve. And I'd like to leave with one question. How much money is going into your pockets?
Thank you. Thank you. Next person, I have Cindy. Cindy Nieder. Is Cindy? Cindy's next.
Felipe.
I'm sorry?
Felipe Francini.
Can you let? Okay. Are you okay, Miss? With that? Okay, Mr. Francini, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here to thank the members of the board. I'm here to thank the members of the board for the work they do. There's a lot of fear mongering about what's going on. It's my first board meeting ever. Don't be sad. You guys are trying to do what's in your hearts. There's a lot of people here that look at your color, your skin, especially you, Angel. I've never met you before. And I've been reading a lot of social media, especially in Shorewood, Plainfield, Crest Hill, and when they talked about putting affordable housing at the mall, right away you saw these kind of people come up and, oh, we don't want those people moving from the city or from out of Joliet. Yeah, I pay for it. I've been here 50 years. I've been a productive citizen. I raised 4 children. I put them through college. Most of their time going to private schools. My family combined have more than 500 years in Joliet. And a lot of us were jumped by the border. We didn't jump the border, okay?
Yay.
The Indians were here, and a lot of you guys came. You guys are lucky they didn't tell you where to go when you guys came. You never asked if you could stay. A lot of these people, give them a chance to be a part of your community. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Thank you. Cindy?
Yes, Cindy Nieder.
Can you spell your last name, please?
N-I-E, D as in David, E-R-E-R.
Thank you.
I have some questions of, was this grant brought before the board, the township board? Was this grant brought before the board and voted on by the board before the grant application was made? If so, what board meeting was that done at? Will Joliet Township be offering general assistance and emergency assistance to the asylum seekers, which is paid by taxpayers' money, in case you folks don't know that? Will Joliet Township be providing housing for the asylum seekers? If so, how long of a period do you plan on housing the asylum seekers? 30 days, 60 days, indefinitely? What's the plan out there? Is it in writing somewhere what your plan is? Where will you be housing the asylum seekers? In the paper, it stated you would not state that. Why not? What's being hidden? Why will you not state that? How much of this grant is budgeted for the housing? In the newspaper, you were quoted stating that it was budgeted at $9 million. Obviously, your grant is only 8.6. And this isn't accounting for all the other avenues that you've put out for the grant, for the budget. And what is your plan for housing costs when you run out of grant money? Where's that gonna come from? Because you're gonna run out. If you've already budgeted $9 million, your grant's only 8.6. You're already in a deficit. So where is that money gonna come from? It's a question that the taxpayers need to know. My suggestion is do FOIA requests to the Joliet Township. Do the FOIA requests. Find out, because these are legitimate questions that the local residents and the surrounding communities deserve to know. It not only affects Joliet, the city of Joliet, Joliet Township, it affects everybody. All of the services throughout these other townships and other cities are going to be affected by this. So what is the plan? Is there a written plan? If so, when was it made? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nieder. Ms. Ruth Slattery? Is Ruth here? Ruth? Okay. So we'll move on to Ms. Kiara. If you
My
could-
name is Kiana.
Can you spell your name, please?
Queen Kiana is my stage name. Queenquiana. My family name is Mackenzie.
Thank you.
I'm here today because I'm taking this mic off, okay? I had a conversation with Mr. Angel. That was me that called you the other day, okay? And I called you to talk to you about the fact that the home that I live in is the home that my grandparents have owned for over 65 years. And the property adjacent to that, and the property behind it. That has now been given to asylum seekers from Colombia. I called you to ask you what you were going to do about it. And your main concern was why City Hall gave me your phone number. I called to tell you that as a taxpayer, a paraprofessional, I work in a medical facility, okay? And last week, we had an influx of people coming in who work for the aviation and the police departments in Cook County. There's an outflux of diarrhea from the employees at O'Hare Airport. And there are immigrants all over O'Hare Airport. But that's not why I called you. I called you to find out what I could do about the fact that these people are living adjacent to me, the property that my family sold. They have completely destroyed the property. I'm calling the police 2 and 3 times a night because they're partying and tooting cocaine. And their back porch is adjacent to my bedroom window. And I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to men in my backyard. And I look out the window and they back there snorting cocaine and talking on it. And that's what's gonna happen is y'all gonna be scooping Colombians up off of my backyard. Because that's what comes next. We don't want this. For 65 years, now my grandparents were there. My family has been on this property. We've never had any problems. The people who live upstairs, the other immigrants who live upstairs, park in front of my driveway. They just park in front of my driveway. And when I go to ask them to move, all of a sudden my tires are flattened. I have video from the neighbors across the street of the immigrants partying on my blacktop while I'm at work and their little girl riding her bike up and down my driveway. And when I asked the officer to tell them not to impede and cross over the property line, you know what he told me? You have to get signs that say no trespassing. Well, what sense does that make if they don't speak English? Do I gotta go get Spanish ones? The point is we don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. And my position to you is, after listening to all of these people who are here to tell you that we don't want it, and if you go ahead and still do it, you will not be elected again. Listen to the people that you work for, sir. You told me that this proposal was brought to their attention, but you went and applied for it behind their backs. We don't want this.
Thank you so much. Can I have Raj Padi Pillai? Raj Padi Pillai is next on the agenda, and after that, Nonviolent Cities Project. Can I get Doug Casper and Seta Smart, as well as Ms. Joyce, Bill Rubark? So Raj is next on the podium. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, first of all, Mr. Contreras and the rest of the township for giving me this opportunity.
Can you spell your name?
Last name is spelled P-I-L-L-A-I. First name Raj, R-A-J.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, I appreciate this opportunity. I'm a United States Navy veteran. I'm an immigrant myself. My family came over here. They waited for about 10 years to get in. But really, I digress that point. That's not really why I'm here. I wanted to mention that I represent the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission. And we have about, I'm not an elected official, but I'm selected by right about 30,000 veterans and their representatives in order to be in this position and lead our commission. The responsibilities of our commission are to help the veterans within the county in order to make sure they get help with disability claims, even food, different types of care that we can provide. But really, my point is not to give you an opinion, because I have to go have a commission meeting for that. My point here is to let you guys know how tough it is for our veterans in this county to get the care that they need. It's extremely difficult. We have a staff of 10 people. Our annual budget is slightly over $1 million. And with that, we try to take care of as many veterans as possible. Some have to wait weeks for an appointment in order to be seen, because that's the capacity that we have. And we're trying to do certain things to move forward in order to get that care for our veterans, but it is extremely difficult. And if we're applying for grants, we have to go through a very, very rigorous process in order to even prove that that veteran, deserves this or is entitled to it or whatnot. So I just wanted to let everyone know here that that government body does exist. And my goal as commission president, I'm a representative of not only the taxpayers, but also the 30,000 veterans in the county. And we're part of the county government in Will County. I do plan on calling a special meeting so we can discuss this with the commission and figure out how we're going to address any issues that are out there right now that affect our veterans. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Doug Casper. Doug, and then Seta Smart, and then Joyce and Bill Rubark.
All right, my name's Doug Casper, the chairperson for the Nonviolent City Project here in Joliet. Thank you very much for the applause. I've been listening very intently, kind of hesitating to come up and try to speak because we'd be speaking kind of contrary to the opinion of most people, I think, that spoke. As the Nonviolent City Project chairperson and a resident of Joliet, I have what I call a house of hospitality in the tradition of Dorothy Day and the Catholic Worker Movement. Over the last
What's your name?
10 or 12 years, I've taken in about 40 or 50 local homeless people and helped them get back on their feet. But lately, the last couple of years, I've gotten a lot of people seeking asylum in our country. All right, and I've taken in some 12 people over the last 12 years. People from Uganda, people from Egypt, people from Nicaragua, people from, lately, a lot from Venezuela. Good people, all good experiences. People, I'm sorry to say, that are victims of our U.S. foreign policy. So my message, to be pointed a little bit, is if we don't want migrants in our country, stop creating them.
Thank you, Doug.
Well, I wasn't going to read this statement because I'm afraid of some of you hateful people out there. But I'm going to do it anyway because otherwise I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Thank you.
Okay? So please be quiet. Thank you. As part of the Nonviolent City Project Joliet, I represent them. I also represent Pax Christi Seed Planters, Pax Christi Will, Pax Christi Illinois, Pax Christi USA, and Pax Christi International. I represent the Diocese of Joliet, and I represent concerned citizens. We are here today to congratulate and support the $8.6 million grant awarded to the Joliet Township. All right, I'm not done yet.
Can we have order, please? Continue, ma'am.
Which will help with the many migrants seeking asylum who are already legally here. We understand, and that's why we're here tonight among you. We understand what some of you are saying. Not the people that are saying, but what about me? What about me? There is a lot of problems. Housing, poverty. Poverty is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yes.
Violence. All of these things create many needs, and we believe the solution to these and any problems is listening, dialogue, and cooperation built on the foundation of mutual self-interest. We hope, and hope sees all the alternatives.
Order! Officers! Continue.
Yes. We hope, and hope sees all the alternatives, and we imagine the 8.6 million will benefit not only those fleeing violence and seeking asylum, a safe place where everyone matters, but it will also benefit those Joliet residents who are fearful here tonight, that they're fearful that they will be left behind. But this grant, as far as we understand it, maybe most of us, we don't know all the details, but we do understand that they are hiring people and putting resources in Joliet that are to be used to build up the community, build up the groups that are already here, the centers that are already here, to help people feel safe and to feel that they matter. No, I'm not done yet. Now shut up.
Continue.
Like using the Peter Claver Center, I'm very, very proud of your work at the Peter Claver Center. And most people don't really understand because they don't listen or read or anything. The Peter Claver Center is to address violence prevention for all. And building partnerships and support with Will Grundy Medical Clinic and St. Joseph Medical Center and all the other places that they mentioned, and the other local safety net providers, the shelters, the welcome centers, food donors, legal assistance. The grant will also provide resources, money for new, good-paying jobs. It is
Can we have order? Can we have order? Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Sara.
We believe Nonviolent City Projects, the Catholic Church, and Pax Christi organizations and all the peace organizations that we work with We believe it's a win-win. Not to endorse it would be a lose-lose for the city of Joliet. And speaking from the Catholic Church and all the other faiths,
Can we have order, please? Nobody was interrupted. You have to let this woman speak. Thank you. Quiet.
we know the importance of mutual listening and conversations in the Holy Spirit. Do not do unto others as you would have done to yourself. Where your treasure lies, there also is your heart. Fear not, because by helping others, you will find out that you will also be helping yourself. All right, I'm almost done.
Can we have order? This is a board meeting. We expect you to be respectful. Thank you.
Let us not be divided, for we know then we will all lose. Let's stand together as one voice and address the needs of all people. Those who have come to America to seek legal asylum, and those who already live here in our communities. For what happens to one of us happens to all of us.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Sarab. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, and can I have your name, please, Miss?
I speak to you as a granddaughter of immigrants.
What is your name, ma'am?
I appeal to you as a believer in Jesus, in God, who always made room for the stranger, the one who had no way to be involved in the democracy because of their situation. And so I also appreciate trying to get money to keep supporting the Spanish senator, the places where people come for health concerns, for housing. And I say thank you to those who are loving of all, because there are always people who are standing outside, who are gifted and can contribute to this community and bring peace. We need to have less violence in this community. If we take care of people's basic needs, we will have peace. Thank you.
And your name, ma'am, please. Your name for the record.
I am Joyce Ruha.
Thank you, Ms. Joyce. Appreciate you.
A resident for almost 55 years.
Thank you. Is Mr. Bill Rubark here? Are you Bill?
No.
Oh, one moment, please. Okay, next on the agenda, Chris Schmidt. Is Chris Schmidt here? Please take the microphone. Pastor Nona Parker is second. Jock Giacomi is third. And Liz Giacomi. And then Pat Smith. Can I have those 5 people at the podium? Make your way down, please.
I'll be brief.
What is your name, sir?
Alex Guerrero, AAA Joliet. Just like you guys, I'm a resident of this community. I have been since I was 6. I mean, it's where I walked, ran, it's where I cried and bled like a lot of you guys. It holds a special place in all of our hearts. That's why we're so emotional in this room right now. That's why we drove down here to lend our voice of reason. That's what I try to offer, but I think a lot of people, when we, as the community, heard about all this information, I think we were all taken by surprise, a little very off guard. And the more I've learned about this current situation with this grant being approved is, yeah, we were blindsided, and it seems like Supervisor Contreras, it seems like from all the information I've absorbed, it seems like none of your constituents in our city's government was aware of your application for this grant. And I don't think that's right, and it seems in this room, it seems very overwhelming majority that your citizens, the citizens in this room that have elected you to represent our city, don't seem to want this. It's overwhelming. What I don't understand is what your methodology behind it was for taking that approach. And secondly, I mean, there's a lot of other affluent cities in the Chicagoland area. I mean, why not Naperville? Why not Oakland? I mean, why not Western Springs, you know? I mean, I understand. I'm from here. I know Joliet's a very working class city. But we've got quite a long way to go with the citizens, social services, homelessness. I mean, heck, you know, drive down Jefferson and Larkin. You go behind Pep Boys into Tent City back there. And that's just one of several. If we can't lend the service to our current residents, what in good gracious would we think bringing all these people, no matter the several millions of dollars, that money's gonna end. And then that burden, that's gonna fall on the shoulders of us, the taxpayers. Because unless that grant keeps renewing, I know a few things about 501c3s, that's no guarantee. So I hope, like I said, I just lent some information, but I really do. I think people were taken aback because I think people weren't aware. It just seems like it was rather forced upon us, and that's not how democracy works. So I hope everybody all the best, you know, with what transpires in the coming days, weeks, months ahead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Chris Smith. Is Chris here? Chris signed up to speak. Okay, Pastor Nona Parker.
Good evening. My name is Pastor Nona Parker. I am a lifelong resident of the city of Joliet, as well as a member of the clergy here in this city for 23 years. I shepherd a congregation here in Joliet that is multicultural, that I have multicultural staff, so for me this is not a Hispanic issue. This is an issue of citizenship. That's what this is about. I personally wanted to come here today so that I could be very clear on my position on this particular issue of Joliet becoming a sanctuary city and why. I am completely opposed to this proposed designation, as well as furious over the underhanded, secretive manner in which this township and the township supervisor and everyone else involved has handled this proposal. My reason for the opposition is based upon first-hand experience of the problems and the destruction that our city will encounter if it chooses to open its doors to individuals that have entered our country illegally and are now given access to our city and its resources with no regard to the existing needs and problems plaguing the communities that you are targeting for relocation in these asylum-seeking cities. This is the thing. I grew up on the southeast side of Joliet. Everybody down there is an asylum seeker. We are seeking asylum from crime, from drugs, from gang activity, from homelessness. We have been asylum seekers, and we have gotten no help whatsoever. And so if you are going to give money to the asylum seekers of the community that I grew up in and that you are putting illegal immigrants in is under assault, and we have been for considered us. You've not looked into what it would do to our communities. I want to know, of all of you that are sitting at this table, how many of these people are coming to your neighborhood? I need to know that. I'm almost done. Lastly, how can you justify using taxpayer dollars without public notice, without input from the people who live in this city and pay taxes, to purchase a property that will do us, the residents, no good? You're using the Peter Claver Center, which has been a staple in that community. You're using it to help people that don't even belong in our country. And we are yet sitting. That property sits at a sign that says City Gateway. You are letting people into our community that's going to desecrate our community. It is time for the people of this city, and I'm talking to everybody in this room, we cannot let this be a gripe session. We have to be willing to come together, citizens of this community. I don't care what color your skin is. We have to be willing to come together to do whatever we need to do to fully invoke our rights as tax-paying citizens of this city, this state, and this country, including any and all legal options. Did you all hear what I said? That is made available to us as citizens of this city. You all have overstepped, and we demand that our voices be heard and that you recognize that you work for us. I'm done.
Thank you. Can I have Jock Giacomi next on the podium? And can you spell your last name, sir? Thank you.
Giacomi.
Thank you. The floor is yours, Mr. Giacomi.
I'm Jock Giacomi. I'm 73 years old. I was born in Joliet on Joliet Street and lived on Eastern Avenue half my life. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I spent 2 years in that jungle, and now I got Agent Orange in my bladder, and Loyola's trying to keep me alive. But it ain't about me. It's about my wife and all you people here. I want to tell you people one thing now. The governor's the boss of this state. Remember that, people. He's the boss of the state. I know we're the boss of the state, but if the governor wants to put 20,000 in that corner, Pritzker's going to do it. I didn't vote for that man, but Pritzker's the boss, and he can do what he wants in this state. And if he wants to put 20,000 in that corner in Joliet, I think it's going to happen. And if he does, we all know what's going to happen to our city. It's already folding. We have crime every night here right now. Every night we have crime here, and we can't get rid of it. And you know, if you've seen the page yesterday about Venezuela, there's millions and millions of people in line just waiting to come over the border from Venezuela. And then they showed the movies of them yesterday, Patch did. There's no babies, there's no women, no children. It's all men, all men. And then they come up to the cameras with all these signs. We're coming from Venezuela to America. There are umpteen thousand. Now, I don't know how many Biden, and he's wrecking the whole country. I didn't vote for him either. But anyway, Pritzker is wrecking this state. He started with Chicago. He's going to Joliet and Elgin next. He ain't going to send them to Springfield or the cornfields down there in southern Illinois. He's going to put them right here. And he has got the power to do it. So people, I hope we can fight him. The mayor's doing all he can to fight this yo-yo down there in Springfield. But I think we might lose. And if the people do come in here, people, your houses that were $1 million, $500,000, 100,000, they're going to be worth 20,000 because they can't leave them in the motels forever. They got to let them out. And when they come out into your neighborhoods, and there they are, and our chief of police, I know he don't have the rap sheet on all these thousands of people. He don't know who's the raptor, who's
Sir,
the killer,
can you address
who's
the board?
the murderer.
Sir, can you address the board, please?
Okay, well, I want the people to hear it. So this is what we're up against. I know you guys turned it down. That's great. But here's the thing, my man. The people are going to come up, Angel, whether you like it or not, because Governor, he's going to do it on us. And when that happens, the city's going to fold, okay? And then we're going to be in for some big problems. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Can I have Liz Giacomi, please? Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Liz Giacomi. Immigrants are people applying for citizenship legally, showing our country respect. These are people coming across our borders, expecting and demanding, showing zero respect for our citizens, our laws, and our country. As stated, the application was quickly submitted without all members of the city or township having knowledge of it being submitted. Where's the money coming from for the police, the firefighters, the hospitals, the schools, the grocery stores? It goes on and on and on because we can't have enough police and firefighters and hospitals and nurses already as it is. According to the projected budget, we're already in the red as far as the thieves coming into our city. It appears that Joliet is under one ruler, and when did that happen? Joliet struggles with supporting the citizens it has now. There is no room for the influx of thieves that will be dumped here. You're not going to be able to stop it. It's too late. That's a joke. It was already stopped. If it won't stop because, I'm sorry, my notes. Because it already has been announced by Governor Pritzker that we're getting this. So what fool would apply to destroy their own city? Stop the grant process now.
Thank you, Liz. Can I have
Thank you.
Pat Smith? Pat Smith is next on the list. If Pat Smith is not here, I'd like to move on to Pat Smith and then Patricia McReynolds. If you can make your way, Elizabeth Navarez and Larry, give me 1 second, let me call the rest of the folks. Larry A. Sean, if you can make your way down to the podium. Patricia McReynolds, Elizabeth Navarez, and Larry A. It looks like Shamer. Okay, sorry. Okay, and your name, please, miss?
My name is Carolyn Coon.
Carolyn, your name wasn't called yet.
No, I know. It was. I didn't write my name down.
We're
But
gonna.
I'm
gonna let you
leave,
speak,
all
but I'm gonna let you
saying
speak. But please, you have to be respectful and follow the rules. You can't just cut in front of the line. But go ahead and speak.
So,
Can you spell your name since I didn't have it
all
down?
I'm saying is
Carolyn, what?
the first statement when we started this meeting, you had said that you all were available to contact, and that was not the case last week. I made numerous phone calls trying to reach out to each and every one of you sitting here right now, and even not noticing the tax assessor not being involved when such an important role takes figure for our population. So if you all are all available for conference right here, right now, what happens when we all walk out this door? Where are you then? And that's my final statement. So, and that's the scary thing that I'm afraid of, actually, is none of you were available last weekend for comments. Thank you.
Can you spell your last name, please?
No, it's fine.
Okay, no worries. Next, Patricia McReynolds. Patricia McReynolds, she's on her way down. Thank you. And then after that, I have Elizabeth Navarez and then Larry A. Shamer.
Hello, my name is Patricia McReynolds. I've lived in Joliet since 1978. I want to say thank you to the board for making this opportunity. If we continue to have hate in our world, that is what we're going to have. You know, when you give, you feel so much better than when you take from people. And I believe this is an opportunity. I taught children that were coming from Mexico, and some of them were so surprising. And to know that sometimes they were returned because they were deported, and I thought, we lost a bright mind because of hate. We have to stand up and be proud of who we are and help those who are less fortunate than ourselves. And I believe the township has given us that opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McReynolds. Thank you. Ms. Franchini? Navarez, sorry, Navarez.
My name is Elizabeth Navarez. I've lived here since 1975. Immigrant that came here, just like many, many, many of us, more than are willing to admit. Okay? I saw a very sad face today because of being under attack. With that face was my daughter, who teaches 60 children that are not English speakers. They are victims of this situation. Okay? I remember being there at 11 years old, not speaking English. Joliet has taken pride in being diverse and formally serving immigrants since
1952. Neither the NOFO, which is the Notice of Funding Opportunity, or the application required a shelter, okay? A lot of fear of the unknown because we are not well informed. Whoever put the press release is responsible for naming the wrong government entity. This is not another welcoming center for the state of Illinois. However, the Spanish Community Center became the 8th welcoming center when I was the executive director at the Spanish Community Center, and today there are 44 Illinois welcoming centers. For everybody's information, that is not the purpose of this grant. I want to ask everyone to educate yourself, please, and to please move forward so that we can work together, not against each other, and we can continue to do our commitment to do a public service. This money is not going to bring 15,000 people into the city of Joliet. This is a situation that exists now. In case you did not hear earlier, the Spanish Community Center helped 2,200 asylum seekers in the last year. What the Joliet Township government did, resources to assist with the work that we are already doing, and we have been doing since 1969 that the Spanish Community Center was incorporated. This is our families too, not just ours, it's all of your families. All of our families are immigrants. Don't forget that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Navarez. Thank you. Larry, if I can get the next 5 people to sign, Mr. John Darwin, Thomas Beijing, Tremaine Dean, Greg McGinnery, and Betty Wallach. So I think Mr. Larry Shaw is next.
Shaver.
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 Very simple, plain. Hey, okay, guys, there's been a lot of things said here tonight, and I don't want to reiterate and beat a dead horse. I'm a combat veteran Marine from Vietnam. Thank you guys, I served with Hispanic Marines who weren't citizens of this country, but came here the right way, legal way, joined the military, served their country, and died for their country, wanted to be their country, wanted to be part of this country, never got the opportunity, even though they did it legally. Yet we've got people standing out of our borders, waiting for years to come in here legally, and watching what's happening to our borders and saying, what's this all about? Why is this happening? Why is our politicians allowing this to happen? Should never happen. Should never happen. Now I'll get to the simple points. You mentioned, the board mentioned something about they didn't understand or know how many people was coming in, or that immigrants were coming in, or illegals, or whatever you want to call them. I read your grant. Every page of it, every paragraph of it. I took 3 days to do it, so I would make sure that I understood it. It specifically states numbers in there of how many people you expected to come in here. So the statement that was made earlier by the board was incorrect. Imagine that. what I'm going to address now is the veteran community in Will County. As Raj alluded to, over 30,000 veterans. We're the number 3 county in Illinois in population of veterans, followed only by Cook County, of course, number 1, and Lake County is number 2, Will County is number 3. We have veterans that come in to the Veterans Assistance Commission on a daily basis looking for help. They don't get all they need because we don't have the resources to do it. Yet we're willing to put all this money out there to help people that have not earned it. They haven't paid their dues, they haven't earned anything, but yet we're willing to give them everything. What about the veterans in this community, in this city, in this township, in this area that are homeless? What about the ones that can't pay their utilities? What about the ones that don't get dental care? Something that was mentioned in that grant that you would provide with this grant, this $8.5 million, you would provide dental care for these people. Do you realize that a United States veteran citizen of this country who offered his life for this country does not get dental care unless he's 100% service connected? If he's 90%, he don't get dental care. We don't take care of our own. Why are we going to take care of somebody else's? Let's put, if you want to get grant money, if you want to bring grant money in here, let's get the homeless veterans off the streets of Joliet. Let's get the homeless veterans off the streets in Bolingbrook and the other communities around here, Romeoville. Let's fix our own people first before we worry about fixing somebody that has no right to be fixed.
Thank you, Mr. Shriver. Thank you. Can I have John Darwin down is next? John Darwin, Thomas Jr., B-A-Y, I can't make out your name. And then Termaine Dean, if you can please get in line. And then Greg McNary in line, and Betty Wallach is the 5th last one. So if you please can get in line. Sir, state your name.
My name is John Davin.
Thank you, sir.
Delta, Alpha, Victory, India, November.
David.
I'm a U.S. Army retired, and I want to thank all my veterans that served before me, while I was in, those that served after me, and the future veterans. I want you all to focus on that American flag. I want all you board members to take a good look at it. The red was made redder by the veteran, his blood that was shed. The white is the purity of the tears shed by the loved ones back home. The blue is a field that was created by the tranquility of Almighty God. The stars represent each state, which forms a perfect union. We all signed a blank check, willing to give our lives for our country. Now is the time to take care of veterans.
Thank you, sir. Can you please state your name for the record?
My name's Tremaine Dean. I want to shout out to all my elders out there that laid down the foundation, because I know it's not a lot of young people out here to speak up, so I'm going to be the first one to start making my name roam around here. See, the one thing that I've seen with growing up in Joliet is that the lack of effort from the community to really push the kids. We don't have anything for the kids. And it's been said today that there is a lot of violence going on right now. You guys took the YMCAs away from us. There's nothing on the east side for these kids. Yet you guys are wasting your tax dollars. You got the police officers roaming over there and trying to help of some sort. But you guys aren't doing anything for the kids. See, I'm a leader of tomorrow. I'm here when you guys get old and when it starts to die down and it needs somebody to speak up. That's who I am. And the one thing I would say is you guys are not taking care of the leaders of tomorrow. You're not taking care of these kids. You're going to bring in more kids, Yes, they need our help, but you haven't taken care of the kids that are struggling right now. What about the kids that can't eat after school? What about the kids whose parents don't have the money to feed them? What about the parents that can't even have daycare? There's no affordable daycare. They're struggling. Everybody's struggling. I'm tired of struggling. I'm not going to raise my daughter to struggle. There has to be some change here. You guys are doing nothing for the kids, and I'm infuriated. You know how many times I've tried to come to officials to try to set up nonprofits to help these kids to get turned down? I don't get nothing. They turn the door around. Maybe it's because of my dress. Maybe it's because of the color of my skin. But I don't care. At the end of the day, you guys have a job. You guys got voted in. I voted for you guys to get into office. And I expect you guys to do your job. Because otherwise, I'm going to go out and I'm going to advocate, and we're going to have some changes around here. Because it's only so much that Mr. Darcy can do. He's given back to the community many years. From my whole childhood, I can remember. But if you guys aren't going to do your job, you guys need to get the hell out. Because I'm not waiting around. There's no more time to wait around. I don't have another 4 years to wait for change. It's 8.6 million. How about you guys figure out how to get 8.6 million so we can make this community bigger and better for the rest of us, so we can get people to come back to Illinois. Everybody wants to leave. What are you guys making this community for us to want to stay here? No, we can't. We don't want to stay here. Taxes are high. We can't get away with nothing. We barely can afford groceries for the week. So what are you guys going to do to help us out? Especially me. I'm 26. That means that, I got some years to grow and figure out what needs to change. But it's your job right now because you guys wanted to be the leader. You wanted that position? Now do something about it. Because I'm tired of y'all not doing nothing. My grandfather, he put his heart on the line to make sure this community was something more. And you guys have done nothing. You guys are wasting our time. Stop coming up with these lies. Come with truth. Speak to the people and care about the people. Otherwise, y'all not going to be able to sleep at night because these people going to be outside your house waiting on y'all to do some kind of change. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Greg McNeary. Is Greg here? Greg McNeary. If Greg is here, come down. If not, Betty Walglich.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut in line real quick.
It's okay. You're the mayor. We're happy you're speaking. Thank you.
I stand here to represent most of the 150,000 wonderful people of this community that elected this leadership, the council and the mayor, to do the best we can for the community. And I ask you to withdraw this grant.
Thank you. Can I have Betty Waglich down? Is Betty Waglich? Okay, and your name, sir?
Ilario Silva.
Mr. Silva, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Because since the mayor can cut on line, I can cut on line too, right?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I come in peace in the spirit of my ancestors, in the spirit, and with the permission of the Creator. I'm born and raised here in Joliet, lived here most of my life, and I grew up in places like the Spanish Community Center since a small child. I went to CCD there, after school programs, summer school. I got my first job there. There's a lot of violence and trouble waiting for you at your doorstep growing up here in Joliet. And the Spanish Community Center was one of those places where you could go to have other options and have gateways to another way of life here in Joliet growing up. I don't like to portray myself as a victim, but I got shot as a child growing up here. Never a gangbang a day in my life. Those are the kind of realities that wait for us here in the quote-unquote hood. So I applaud you guys for sticking your neck out to provide more resources for places like this, because there's not a lot of help that these places are getting, and those places don't discriminate who comes to their doorstep for help. Working there, I volunteered at their food pantry, and there's all walks of life that come to the Spanish Community Center. Don't be misled by the name of the place. They don't just serve the Spanish-speaking community. They serve anybody and everybody at that place. The name is the name. It is what it is, because there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people in our community. So once again, thank you for sticking your neck out and for offering and welcoming people that are coming here, that are already here. There's no magical mystery tour buses dropping off thousands of immigrants tomorrow. They're already here. And guess what? They're you and you, because none of you guys are from here. Unless you can claim Iroquois, Illini, Purapeche, Maya, Micheca. You are not from here. So we've all had our turns of being the unwelcome ones. So don't do that to the next one. Pay it forward. And as my Italian brothers say, we are all paisanos already. So let's open our hearts, and especially to religious folks that are up in arms right now. Like, be more Christ-like and show love. We are already here, and we ain't going nowhere.
Gracias, Hilario. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Jan Jaworski, Trinita Stevenson, Elvia Mendoza, Glenda McCullum.
I apologize. I'm an illegal line cutter tonight.
Your name, please?
It is Seth. Last name Norcross.
Norcross?
Listen, yeah, I'm a veteran of 5 years, United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi. And I'm also a father, a born-again Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ to be my Lord and Savior. And I want to speak on just a deeper issue than it relates, though. And I love this city. I joined the Marine Corps the day I turned 18, went to Iraq, deployed, and I love this nation. But there is a deeper issue in our city, not just our city, but our nation. And I want to remind you that tonight that our Supervisor, Angel Contreras, is an elected official. So what that means, these elected officials, they're a representation of us. And the last election, I believe there was a 20% or less show up. So that means there's people in this room who are angry about what is going on in our city, but they didn't even show up to vote. Hold on. Listen, I am a diehard conservative. Listen, I'm a veteran. I don't even want $8 million for the veterans. I know there's some that need it, but the worst thing you can do to a man is give him something. Men need responsibility, right? There are veterans that need it to a degree. But listen, what we need in this city more than anything is Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
But where that starts is humility. Listen, the first time I ever prayed for Supervisor Angel Contreras was this past week because God convicted me. You know the Bible calls us to pray for our leadership? And it wasn't a prayer, God strike them dead, but I'm praying for your soul, sir. And I'm sorry, forgive me for not praying for you in times past. And everybody up here, our city officials, our mayor, our governor, listen, we need Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
But listen, it's the heart issue. Because listen, I do, and I'll make it real quick, I do a teen boot camp in the summers. I have teens that come through. We do it in North Carolina. Listen, teenagers from all over the place, from New York, all over this nation, they all come from broken homes, most of them. They come from ungodly situations. When you hear about it, it is the sin issue in the heart of America and our people. And the only person that can heal this nation, this city, is Jesus Christ. Amen. Jesus did it for me. I was a young Marine. I was a drunk full of hatred and bitterness, right? And we begin to look at our politicians as our gods and our saviors. Listen, they can't save us. Only Jesus can.
That's right.
And I would ask you to self-reflect in your own hearts. Yes, vote, be a part. But listen, just look at the Democratic platform. Abortions on demand, right? Where was the moral outrage in our city 2 years ago when they flew the gay pride flag for the first time in our city? Listen, I don't hate the homosexuals. I don't hate LGBTQ. I love them. But you got to understand, God ordained marriage, not man. And so this is the problem, our moral outrage when it only fits our agenda. We need to come back to Jesus Christ. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Can I have Greg McInerney? McNary? Is Greg here? Betty? Is Betty here? Betty Walrich? Jan Jaworski? Trinita Stevenson? Oh, go ahead. You want to let him go first, please? Whichever one. Okay, thank you.
My name is Trinita Stevenson, Trinita, and I teach boot camps during the spring and summer. And as a lifelong resident of Joliet, Illinois, it saddens me to see the amount of homeless people who are already overflowing the community. They stand in the doorways of our stores and restaurants, and I can say from personal experience, my granddaughter tells me that if her teacher is sick, the 30 students that are in her class are combined with another 30 students, and none of them can speak English. And I'm not saying that to say that about anyone. I'm just saying that our schools are suffering. We are at capacity. I really wish that this is my very first time speaking at a board member, and I just want to implore for everyone to just do the right thing, follow the rules, and follow the laws. We lay down the laws. I grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I knew Officer Friendly, and we had neighbors, we had community, and we need to bring that back. And we can't do it if we're already overflowing, bringing other people here when we have yet to address our community and our taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. Mr. Jan Noworski?
Hi, my name's Jan Noworski. It's Nahorski. I'm 70 years old. I'm a Vietnam-era trained combat veteran. I got lucky. They didn't send veterans or soldiers anymore to Vietnam in the middle of my training. So I got lucky. I didn't get sent to Vietnam. I've been a resident in Joliet since '77 when I ETS from the Army. I'm a college graduate with a bachelor's arts degree, and in May I'll be married for 50 years to the same woman. We have 4 children that all vote, and we are great citizens, and they are great citizens, and we have 8 grandchildren. But here's what I want to tell you. I am the son of 2 parents that suffered terribly at the hands of the Nazis and the communists during World War II. They both made it through the war. They ended up in a bunch of displaced persons camps, and they were hoping against hope that their one cousin in Chicago would sponsor them over. Because back then, you get legally sponsored into America, you had to be sponsored by somebody. They spent over a year with my oldest sister in a displaced persons camp, and they finally got that letter that they were hoping for. The sponsor had to pay for their way over to America. When they landed in Ellis Island, the Red Cross gave them $2, and my mom thought she was rich. The sponsor paid for their train to Chicago, and she wanted to show them what a great citizen she was, is how she could handle money. And she reached in her pocket, and she realized she got pickpocketed. So they literally landed in Chicago penniless. They became great citizens. My dad and mom, the sponsor had to also make sure that they had a job, and they entered English-speaking classes. They learned how to speak English. They all worked hard. My dad, 35 years at Ryerson Steel. My mom, various jobs all along. And the proudest day of their life was when they passed their citizenship test and became an American citizen. They both told their children, us, to kneel down and kiss the ground you're on because America is the greatest country in the world. And they were very, very appreciative of the opportunity America gave them. They were legal citizens, and they took advantage of that opportunity, and people around the community embraced them and helped them along the way because they were very good model citizens. What I'm saying to you, the board, is these people are in the country illegally. They are illegal aliens. They need to go back and become legal citizens. Then we will embrace them with open arms, and we will tell them how to get by and how to move in. We'll cook them meals. We'll show them, get them jobs and all that stuff. But we can't just continue to go along with this system that is aiding illegal aliens. So I'm telling you, you guys are all voted in, and unbeknownst, unlike what you'd probably think, you need to understand that. You work for us, we don't work for you. So you need to listen to us and say, let's rescind this application, and then let's start over by giving that money to the veterans and to the schools.
Thank you, Mr. Naworski. Elvia Mendoza is next. Go ahead, Ms. Mendoza, you're next, please.
No, actually, I'm next.
Thank
Everyone
you.
else is
Sir,
coming- everyone
no,
else-
you
hey,
need to sign in.
Did you stop anyone else that cut
Okay,
mine?
Ms. Mendoza.
I know.
Yes, but there's a line. There's a line.
There's a
Okay,
line for other
you know
people,
what?
too. They cut
Go ahead and speak. Go ahead.
All right.
What's your name?
My name is Jim Lanham. I'm a Joliet resident. I'm going to try and not repeat myself up here. You guys are getting pretty hammered up here, no pun intended. But why are 2,200 people here since last August? Did the city of Chicago send them here? Chicago touts itself as the greatest sanctuary city in this country, yet behind the scenes, they're sticking them on us. Why are they doing it? Because they don't have the resources, the infrastructure, or the money to do this, so they go ahead and dump them off on us. Does Joliet Township have 3 welcoming centers for veterans, our local homeless, addicts, victims of domestic abuse? No, they don't. And there's no big, grand advocacy for it like you're doing here. No, I lost my page. Damn it, no. Now I messed it up, I'm sorry. Anyway, all these programs, they're a function of charity. You want to do stuff like this, donate to a charity, don't use our tax dollars. Thank you. And stop voting for the people that do these socialist programs. People are fleeing countries with socialist programs. Stop voting for socialists, stop voting for Democrats, and we'll get out of this mess.
Thank you, sir. Can I have Miss Elvia Mendoza next in line, and then Glenda McCullum, and after Glenda, can I have Rick, I believe Delrose, if you can get in line, Rick, and then Manuela Botello, and Dan Scott. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Elvia Mendoza, and let's just say it's pretty intimidating being up here. I think I'm one of the first Hispanics who's going to talk. So the question is, why are you still considering this grant? After everybody's spoken to you guys, why are you still considering it? Property values will decrease. Who wants to live next to people squandering their properties? I know for a fact. We've worked really hard to be in this country, legally, and also a Navy vet. I don't want my property to go down just because my next door neighbor. And then Chicago are the ones taking in this asylum seekers. They're not technically illegals because they're giving them the papers, they're giving them money, a place to live, health care for free. Who does that? I have to pay out of my pocket every single paycheck. I see them in the highways multiple times asking for money. I know, come on, we're brown, we all look alike, right? No. Their asylum seekers are not Mexican. I'm sorry, but they're not. They're not allowing the Mexican people to get the same exact treatment as the rest. So if you see them, they're not us. We are hardworking people who came into this country just like our grandfathers did. We work our butts off 40, 60, 80 hours a week so we can become better and give back to our society. Now, no one's talked about schooling. Come on, we all have kids. We send our kids to school, and like a previous person said, these classrooms ratio to students is 1 teacher for 30 kiddos in a classroom. What type of education are they really getting? Now, Joliet only has Gompers as a bilingual junior high. What's gonna happen? Well, they're overpopulated. Where are we gonna put these kids? Is the $8.6 million going to build a new school for our Spanish-speaking people? It's hard enough. We can't keep up with our teachers. We have tons of subs. They don't stick. They don't stay. We don't have enough teachers. What are you going to do then? Now, after the $8.6 million that are going to be given to the city of Joliet to support these immigrants or these asylum seekers, what's going to happen? Who's going to provide for them? They're not going to work. I see from family and friends, they don't want to work in factories because they're too good for that job. So what are they going to do? Are we going to pay? Now they have a, yes it is, ma'am.
Don't interrupt her.
So with the health care, they do have immigrant health care. Why don't they give it to us for free? How much do I have to pay out of pocket? Now every year we pay back to our taxes. So why can't we get some assistance as well? That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. Can I have Glenda McCullum?
My name is Glenda McCullum. I live in Joliet. This is my city. I helped build this city. And I speak to natural-born citizens every single day in my line of work who are calling for places to live, struggling to see, is there any availability for housing? Can you put us on the wait list, or how long is the wait list? The wait list is 7 to 8 months out for people waiting, seniors waiting to get housing. Individuals who have invested blood, sweat, and tears into our economy and into our city. It's a slap in the face for individuals who were born and raised here and who are struggling not just to make ends meet, but just to survive. It's taking the children's bread and giving it to foreigners. Now, I understand that everyone is looking for a better life. We're all looking for a better life. Angel, I've sat with you on the board, Housing Authority of Joliet. So we understand firsthand the deficiencies and the lack of housing, affordable housing, quality affordable housing that's available in our city. And I understand that sometimes we do things without thinking it through completely. But I pray that after hearing all of the voices of the individuals here who are against this grant, that you would have in your heart to rescind and to not move forward with this grant. I also want to say that the Peter Claver Center, that's the thing that, because when I first heard about this grant, I was so angry. But I understand that anger does not work the righteousness of God. I understand that a soft answer turns away wrath. But when I first heard about this grant and turning the Peter Claver Center into a welcome center for individuals who are not a part of our community, I grew up in that community. That was our community center. That's where we went to have an outlet for extracurricular activities under the direction of the late Calvin Hill. We did drill teams there. That was our outlet that kept us off the street. And so now that community is going to go lacking because this center is going to be taken away from them to give to someone else who have not paid the price. I'm angered by that.
Thank you. Rick?
I have a question. After you've heard all of these comments, what is the date to come back together to determine what the outcome is going to be? I'd like to know that, because I don't want this to be just a meeting where we voiced our opinions and we voiced our disagreement, and then everything just gets washed up under the bridge and we don't hear anything more, and you have the power to just continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. You need to be accountable unto us. We need to know, and we want to know, what happens next. Where do we go from here? The financial strain that will happen on the educational system, we've already heard it. Non-English speaking students coming in. How much of that education is going to be taken away from our kids trying to accommodate the kids who can't understand our language? Every system of our city, every system that makes our city run effectively will be negatively impacted. I understand that people are looking for a better life, but what good does it do to help them and hurt us? That's all I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Ms. McCollum. Can I get Rick Delrose? Is Rick still here? If not, I'll move forward with Ms. Manuela Botello.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Manuela Botello, and I'm an immigrant from Mexico. And the first place where I came was here in the city of Joliet. I've been here since 1980. I spoke absolutely no English at all. I went to Joliet Central, graduated with honors, went on to college, and thank God now I am an accountant. I've been working as an accountant for the past 20 years. Having said that, we are all immigrants. I work very hard, and everybody in here has worked very hard. They call me wetback. They call me an idiot. They call me stupid because I did not speak English. Well, guess what? I'm an educated, stupid, idiot, wetback, which I was not, okay? Now, you have to think what is going to happen now with what is going in our world. What are we going to do with Israel? If we have hundreds of thousands of citizens, Jews, coming seeking asylum, are we going to turn our backs on them? Is that what are we going to do? They're all illegals, as far as we know. We have to be welcoming. We have to give people opportunities. We cannot turn our backs back. We are humans. We have to support humanity. We have to support families, regardless of the color, regardless of our race. And I am so very proud to be Mexican and to be part of a community that formed a church 75 years ago in the city of Joliet, who now has or is the largest community church in the city of Joliet. Thank you, and thank you for what you do, because not all of us are brave enough to be up there and to listen and to work for our government. Perhaps if most of us do, especially those who we do not agree with, do it, then it will be a better place. The city of Joliet will be a better place. Let's be united and welcome everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Botello. So Dan Scott, can I have Michelle Peterson come on up? And Cindy Schroba, come on to the podium, please. I believe this is Mr. Dan Scott.
Yes, Dan Scott. I'm with the Posh Hospitality Group, and you forgot to apologize of the incorrection on the application. Our hotel was listed as a location to be a shelter, and we were never consulted with anybody from the Joliet Township. I learned about this from one of our employees through the Joliet Patch, and I received a copy of the grant through a FOIA record, and we were listed as under the shelter and transitional housing. Shelter and nights of stays are currently provided at the Mainstay Joliet Hotel off of Larkin at I-80. This statement is not true. We have never housed migrants at this hotel. We do not plan to work with the Joliet Township on this. During the pandemic, we housed veterans, but we had a working relationship with the county on that. So homeless veterans during the pandemic that needed housing, we did assist. But there was communication in that. So we did retain an attorney who's been in communication with your attorney that this communication needs to be corrected, this information needs to be removed from the grant, and we've applied for grants from the state before, and I know when you sign a grant that you're attesting to the truth. When you're taking money from the state, you must attest everything is true. And as we learned in the last week, many people, the city of Joliet won, the fire department not being consulted or their logo being used incorrectly, now our hotel being listed, we should not accept this money because it's illegal to take things when you're applying for information, applying for money from the state and saying that here's how we plan to use the money without actually following that grant application. So I do expect a correction on this grant document that we are not to be listed and a public statement because we've been receiving harassing phone calls at our business, which will affect our business. And our lawyer has been in contact with your lawyer, and I know he said he will respond in the next few days to us. And we do expect that to be corrected because our company, we own 5 hotels in this city. We've invested millions of dollars. We generate $2 million a year in hotel tax for the city of Joliet. We have over 100 employees. You know, we've been a partner with the city, and we always want to be a partner, but you don't just put people's names on applications and say you're going to use them without consulting them first.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Thank you.
Michelle Peterson, Cindy Schroba, Floyd Catchpole, Mary Martin, and Tim Flattery. If you can all make your way, please. And can you state your name, please, miss?
My name is Cindy Schroba, S-H-R-O-B-A.
So I am also the granddaughter of a Mexican immigrant. The whole family came here, but legally. And I also am not a resident of Joliet at this time, but I grew up in Will County, and I come back here every week for business or personal reasons. So I have a stake in Joliet as well. I absolutely oppose the fact that you guys even applied for the grant without having some communication with your community. And for every single reason that's been spoken up here before I've got here. This is not, to me, about hate of any one group of asylum seekers. I think that we would feel the same exact way no matter where they came from, because we have limited resources, and we want to be a welcoming city, of course, but we can't do it if we can't take care of who we have right now. So the problem is that there's been no transparency from you guys, and there's been no communication with the community, and the fact that you're sitting up there listening is great tonight, but it's not enough. There's lots of questions that are being asked, and you need to give answers. There needs to be some type of back and forth, and it's going to take a long time. But, I mean, obviously you hear what's going on here tonight. The majority is not okay with this. But I've been asked to read a letter by our Illinois State Representative, Jed Davis. So this is directed to Mr. Contreras. Illinois townships are charged with 3 basic functions: the assessment of real property for the basis of local taxation, the general assistance for the indigent already residing within said townships, and the maintenance of all bridges and roads outside federal, state, and other jurisdictions. Your grant application for housing asylum seekers falls well outside the above noted functions. Accordingly, this letter urges your withdrawal from any grants awarded by Governor Pritzker and/or the state of Illinois for the purpose of housing asylum seekers. Unfortunately, as we stand today, you're proposing housing asylum seekers across 5 locations throughout Joliet without any vetting of the community or their elected officials. The lack of partnership on such a significant issue is alarming. Please consider your actions before moving forward. And he did give his personal cell phone number, and this is again from Jed Davis.
Thank you, Ms. Roba. Michelle Peterson.
Hi, Michelle Peterson. I'm here as a concerned citizen from Grundy County, because if you allow illegal immigrants to come to Joliet, they also will head our way. And I have many friends and family who live here in Joliet. As you can see, you've struck a nerve by applying for and accepting this grant from JB. This is blood money you're accepting. Most of these immigrants coming across are men of military fighting age and are released criminals from Venezuela and other South American countries, as well as from the Middle East. These immigrants are garnering up to $2,200 a month from our country, from our government, more than many of our wounded veterans and elderly. The strain on our cities and towns across the country has been expressed by many governors and mayors, including J.B. Pritzker, in a letter he wrote to the Biden administration just last week, stating Chicago is overwhelmed. He's retracting his ask for Chicago to be a sanctuary city. Shocker, he's doing that to look like a hero before we go into the next election season. We are being invaded. This is an invasion at the border. We've allowed the enemy to just walk in. We're allowing human and child trafficking to take place right under our noses. This trafficking is being funded by our government. We have boys around the age of 10 to 15 years old coming across the border in diapers because these so-called asylum seekers are raping them viciously, and their bowels are falling out. These are God's children who we should be protecting. Allowing them to walk across the border, and their payment for that is their bodies. Open borders and invasions are part of the global governance to allow a one-world government. Overrunning our country is how they overwhelm our infrastructure to destroy us. Government, which is now being referred to as global governance. This is being pushed by the World Economic Forum, of which all the Pritzkers are members. JB, his cousin James, who now goes by Jennifer, JB's sister Penny, and his cousin Tom, who is the CEO of Hyatt Hotels, and is in Jeffrey Epstein's black book on page 45 under 13 different phone numbers. No wonder they're okay with allowing this invasion to happen, or okay with child and human trafficking. The World Economic Forum and the UN are pushing to make sex with children normal, calling it age gap love, and wanting to normalize how they're referred to by the moniker minor attracted people. Many of these asylum seekers are coming in with new clothes and cell phones. Where are they getting these items? George Soros has admitted to donating money to the South American countries to release their prisoners and have given money to the legal immigrants to make this trek. These immigrants do not want to assimilate to our laws and rules as we have seen in Minneapolis, Detroit, New York City, and Los Angeles. From the Bible, Numbers 15:16, the same laws and regulations apply both to you and to the foreigner residing among you. What you did, Mr. Contreras, by even applying for this grant was something a dictator would do in a communist state or a democracy. You also blindsided the mayor, Terry Darcy. Shame on you. No matter how many times they call our country a democracy on the news, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic whereby you, the government, work for we, the people. You work for the consent of the governed. We, the people, have awakened. These illegals will overrun our schools, hospitals, stores, and neighborhoods. They will be given free health care that our own citizens don't get. Can you imagine going through another pandemic with all of these additional people overwhelming our hospitals? Because it's coming, they've already told us that. How are you not concerned by this? For every illegal immigrant who you give money to, you are neglecting our veterans and our own homeless. This money should be given to them or use it to send illegals back from where they came. All of you veterans better be ready to take up arms again because we are being invaded. What is happening in Ukraine and Israel doesn't compare to what's planned to happen here. These government agencies or NGOs are unelected oligarchs. They hate our country, and that includes many of the leaders of many states and the resident in the White House. They are encouraging this invasion. What you are seeing here in front of you is one of the best things to come out of COVID. You are seeing the lions awakened, taking back our liberty and sovereignty given to us by Almighty God that is protected by our Constitution. That same Constitution to which you supposedly took an oath, but clearly have not read nor understood. I am going to do one thing here that no one else has requested. I am asking for your resignation, Mr. Contreras, because as our employee, you are not doing your job. From the great Thomas Jefferson, when tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. Can I have Floyd Catchpole next, please? Your name?
Hi, my name's Floyd Catchpole. I'm a resident of Joliet Township. What a sorry mess this is. I really wish you had done a better job with this grant, and we could have gotten some much needed assistance for the Spanish Community Center and other organizations in the township that could really use some help now because of the increased demand of immigration. This immigration problem is not a new one. Neither party has done anything about this since Ronald Reagan gave amnesty to the immigrants that were here back in the 80s. And both parties at the national level are at fault in that. As far as the immigrants being here, as all you gray hairs out here remember, whenever a Cuban fleeing from Cuba put foot on the sand, then they were allowed to apply as a refugee. And that is the case today when a person crosses the border in Mexico, which is apparently a misdemeanor to do so without permission, going through the proper process, then they become processed and their refugee status is determined. The process is ridiculously slow. We don't have near enough people, near enough government employees dedicated to this process, and that is a shame to our national government. I've heard some very crude comments made, and I would like to say that I've worked closely with Mexican immigrants and found them to be extremely hardworking and good people.
Thank you.
Numerous studies have been done regarding crime amongst comparing immigrants and U.S. citizens and the crime rates of each of them. And I'm sorry, guys, U.S. citizens commit more crimes in the United States per capita than immigrants do. I'm just talking facts, man. That's all.
Go ahead. Oh, wow. Thank you, sir.
So
Let's continue.
anyway, I just want to say I'm really sorry this was screwed up so badly. I think some good could have come out of it. I will remind some of the people here that we've received over 100,000 immigrants from Ukraine. I'm listening for the protest to 100,000 immigrants from Ukraine. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it is racist. It is racist. You can try to deny it, but, you know. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Cashpole. Appreciate your comments. Ms. Mary Martin is Mary Martin, and then Tim Flattery and Kenneth Coleman. If you can all make your way to the podium, please. You state your name, ma'am.
Mary Martin. Hi, I would like to strongly endorse and applaud what the board has done. I very much hope you will accept the grant.
Thank you.
I just would like to say war, civil unrest, tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes. Do not wait for whether or not we feel ready for those things to happen and to accept and help the people displaced by them. They're here even if we turn our heads away. Here, Joliet is roughly an hour from Chicago. People, believe it or not, regardless of this grant, refugees are already coming to Joliet. They will come whether or not we get this grant, and the only impact of not getting the grant is that there will be more of a financial burden on Joliet to support them because the township has legally a duty to help support the indigent. And that's something I think we should applaud. And I think just instead of dismissing the idea out of hand without specifics, taking it in and thinking it's too scary or too unknown, we might instead look at what we need to do, which is to help these people and figure out how we can do it. Joliet's the third largest city in Illinois, and we can do more and we should do more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Tim Flattery, is Tim here? Kenneth Coleman, Felix Ortiz, and David Carlson. If you can start making your way to the podium, please. Go ahead and state your name, unless we have Miss, hold on. Oh, she's not coming. Okay. You can go ahead. Mr. Ortiz, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, everyone who's already shared their comments. My name is Felix Ortiz. I'm a lifelong resident here in Joliet, born to two immigrants who got their citizenship through the Reagan amnesty, which was a bipartisan decision to legalize 3 million immigrants because people came to realize that immigrants have always played an aspect and role in this country when it comes to building the things that we have. You know, growing up in Joliet, it was always difficult, all right? I was told as a young child that I neither belonged here nor over there, despite being born here. I was told I'm an illegal, I'm a wetback, and so many other more derogatory terms by people of all different types of races. And so I've made it an effort to want to live in a country that values immigrants, that puts our needs as human beings here because we came here to fight, to have equal treatment like all the other immigrants that came here before us. There is nobody in this country besides Native Americans who can say that they came to this country and weren't immigrants at one point. So when I hear people say that we don't belong here, you guys are all hypocrites and have all benefited from a system that has allowed you to be able to live here. But you know, I'm not here to demonize people, okay? I get it. People don't understand what it means to come from a country where you are a victim of rape, of violence, of cartel violence, of government persecution, and the kind of effort they have to make to get to this country. Do you know how difficult the immigration process is to get here? Do you know how hard it is? It takes years for people. There are people who die waiting to try to get here and seek legal asylum. Yeah, and for all the people in this room, did you know that it's actually legal to come to the border to request asylum? That is actually a legal process, in case you didn't know that. So, half of the people in this room need to take the time to really, really humble themselves. Because if you call yourself a Christian, you need to realize that Jesus Christ was also a refugee in his own land, persecuted by the Romans and all of the other people that didn't want him to be here. So when I see the Joliet Township applying for a grant that is much necessary to help house the burden that we are already facing. Because guess what? These immigrants are already here. And they're going to come here whether or not you want it. So we might as well fight to advocate for those that are coming here, but also the ones that are already here. This isn't a fight between us or them. If you believe in humanity, then we all got to fight to get resources for everybody that's in this country. And I sure as hell hope that all the people that have taken the time today to spread ignorance based on reactionary emotions instead of actual facts and looking at what the real statistics are behind things, I really hope you bring the same energy to city council whenever they threaten to build another damn warehouse here and to start making your life even harder here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Thank you. Tim Flattery, Kenneth Coleman. Go ahead, Miss.
Hi, my name is Carol Brandolino. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do have to get home to my children. If I could speak to this gentleman who is very passionate. I just want to tell you, so many people have sparked me tonight. I'm watching everybody's body language up here. I'm watching people speak, and I can relate to almost every single person. I think we all can, okay? So I'm a very open-minded person, but when you just said, sir, that people die waiting to get here to the land of the free and home of the brave, this country that our veterans have fought for, all I could think of is, do you know how many people have died because they don't have health insurance to save them from cancer and fighting for it medically? Do you know how many people die here? Okay, that happens all the time, okay? And when you talk about immigration, I will tell you this right now. I am Greek American. My husband's an Italian American. Our parents all came here, grandparents came here from respective countries, okay? My mother came, they were here on the ferry. She was 10. Her parents, her mother left them. She had 6 children. She left them, okay, to come here to start to make some money so they can start slowly bringing back their family, okay? And she was 10 years old. She did not speak English, and she was made fun of all the time. She was made fun of all the time. She started first grade at 10 years old, and she graduated at the top of her class. We have a lot of stories like that, okay? One of the most profound things I heard tonight was, we are asylum seekers. It hit me. I feel like I've been an asylum seeker, and I think everybody here that was here earlier, we're all seeking something. We need to be healthy. We need to get an education. We need our government to listen to us. We're not being heard. That's the problem. And I have to say, and this is only my opinion, I don't know any of you up there. I've not ever been to one of these meetings, but I just recently started working locally for locally, I'll just say. And it's for a grant that helps homeless children get an education, okay? So I have just started to learn how to write grants. And this is the first time in my life I'm actually reading grants and writing grants. And they were very scary and very overwhelming to look at. I do know this. I pray to God that something can be done at this point. I don't know, people are saying it's already approved, it's done, you know, Pritzker, this, that. I really hope something can be done. I will say this, if it is done and you are getting that money, I know now that you can go into that grant and you can make an amendment. So if you can go into that grant and make an amendment, maybe in that amendment, in that grant, some of that money, or at least half, if not more, should go to the people that are here. Like right now, the phone calls I'm getting daily about mothers calling me, they're living in the cars. It's a very humbling job. And you know what? This is the sad part. I had to get a job so terribly at this age. I'm 50 years old, and for more than half of my life, I didn't have the type of job because we had restaurants. We're Greek, of course. We're stigmatized with that. And so, when you're self-employed, a lot of times you don't get insurance, health insurance. So I will tell you, the moment I found out at a much older age that I was pregnant, and this is very personal and very sad, but I sat there, found out I was pregnant, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get pregnant because I had some medical issues. And I started sobbing, and my friend said, "Is this a happy cry or a sad cry? I don't know." And honest to God, it was because I didn't have health insurance at the time. And I thought, how am I going to bring a child into this world and not have health insurance at the time? Okay, so let me tell you something. More than half of my life, I have not gone to the doctor. I have dealt with medical issues. I don't go to the emergency room. And now at 50, when I know I have some health concerns really starting to catch up with me, I took this job. It came to me. I believe it was brought to me. It fell into my lap, but I know why now. It was meant to be because it's humbled me. I talk to mothers every day that don't have a home for their children. Education, they are not able to even get an education or have a meal at the end of the day. So to bring all of these people here, I know they need it. You know what? I actually was never a bleeding heart per se. Now that I get these phone calls every day and I hear the stories and I hear the voices of the women, the mothers on the other line, this is real. But I know it's real here because I see it all over the Joliet community and in the surrounding areas and what's going on by how many kids need this grant and the benefits of this grant. Okay? Now, if I had to choose, look, they're going to take taxes out of our checks no matter what. We have no choice. I feel if I do have a choice, I would want it to go to children. I know a lot of these children are victims. It's not like I try to tell the people that are trying to not let these kids into their school districts. Let's think about the betterment of the child, not the parent that might be lying, because 5% of them are lying, but the betterment of the child. I know these kids are victims, but you know what? I think first and foremost, you have to take care of the people here. You have to, because health insurance, this is very sad. It comes down to that. I know that when you come here illegally, and when I think of illegal immigrants, I don't think about Hispanics or Mexican people. I think about people that just come here illegally, because my family came here and waited months and months and years apart from their parents to become citizens here, okay? So I know the struggle is real. My parents have told me, my grandparents have told me the stories. But all I'm saying is when I talk to my kids and I tell them what's going on tonight, why I'm not there, why? Where are you? You're supposed to be home. And why did you take this job when you have to be there every single day, all day during the day? And I said, because I need benefits. And then somebody says, you know what illegal immigrants get when they come here, right? Right when they get here? $4,000, a cell phone, and free health insurance. Boom, it's done. That makes my heart hurt. 25 years I've had no health insurance because I didn't, have that type of job and I couldn't afford it, okay? So I went and did it this age, got this job, which ended up being a blessing. I don't know you people, but I will tell Mr. Contreras this, and people may not agree with me when I say this, but I read people. You're the only one up here, and no offense to anybody else that has had one facial expression of sadness or empathy at all tonight. I will tell you that. I see it on your face. I don't know you. I don't know. Maybe it is what it is. However, maybe you were used as a pawn. I hope no one promised you. I hope nobody promised you something bigger and greater for this, because that is something you're going to have to answer to God to. And that's all I really have to say. I please very much implore you to please retract this. And then if for some reason it can't be retracted, please use that money, make an amendment in that grant to help the people in your community, because you know what, guys? You got to get out and vote. You people have to vote. We're voting people in, and if you don't agree with them, it's our fault. So get out there and vote and talk to community leaders, and I really think you need to talk to your community as well, because they're very angry. So I really pray that this gets, I really hope this works out in the best interest of our community here and take care of the people here that need it first.
Thank you, Ms. Bernardino. Thank you. Can I have Tim Flattery, Kenneth Coleman, David Carlson, Cesar Guerrero, Maddie Perez, Steve Clemens, Carl Farrell, and Eddie Alejos. Line up, please.
I apologize. My name is Olga Veronica Perez.
What is it?
Olga Veronica Perez.
Thank you.
I understand the need to help people, but when is enough enough? I said I understand that we have the need to help people, but when is enough enough? We have asylum seekers coming from all over the world, not just Mexico. It's all over the world. We have open borders, which is appalling. We have veterans here that need help. We have homelessness. We have crime. We have DCFS crisis. We have children that can't be adopted or can't be placed sleeping on the floors of DCFS. There's many other places of area that we can use money from. I'm sorry, enough is enough. And it needs to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Go ahead, Ms. Perez. Come on.
Well, I was waiting for Cesar Chavez. I thought you called his name before mine.
Cesar Guerrero, yeah. But if you want to, okay, I'll
he's
scratch
going to
it.
pass. He's not vocal
Thank
anymore.
you. Okay. Go
There he
ahead,
goes.
Miss. State your name.
My name is Mari Perez. I'm very upset, and I'm hoping you retract this request. As you can see, your constituents are out here, and we're not going away. We're going to continue to come out. This is ridiculous. It is a slap in the face. I'm a Latina, and this has nothing to do with race. My father came here. He was sponsored by my grandfather. He came here and worked his ass off, and he raised me, and he taught me. I could feed you for a day, but if I teach you how to fish, you could feed yourself for life. And that's how I was raised. Since the age of 19, I bought my home. I was only 19 years old. That's 24 years ago in 1999. I've owned my house. I've struggled to pay my mortgage, keep my utilities on. I've worked, started off in a warehouse, working second shift from 4 to midnight, put myself through college, came to Joliet to the University of St. Francis. I've continued to grow throughout my career with hard work. I was taught you do things with hard work, you do it the right way. I believe in law and order, and I believe that what you are doing is wrong. We have our kids that are struggling in school. I fear every day sending my kids to high school, to junior high, because of all the fights that are happening every day. Every day, these kids are being pummeled and beaten in school. This is every day. And the township is doing nothing to stop this, to help it. We have streets on the east side that don't even have lighting. I'm afraid to drive down Richard Street at 8 o'clock at night because there's no lighting. But yet there's teenagers that are walking in the dark to get home, and God forbid they're getting shot. We can't even get flock cameras on these streets to deter the crime because it's going to help the police in the long run with their investigations. But they won't give us flock cameras in our neighborhoods. You go to Mokina, you go to Naperville, you get flock cameras every block. There's not the crime happening in those towns as it is in ours. So until we start taking care of our neighborhood and our people, and I'm talking all my people, you cannot do what you're trying to do. We should not have our seniors robbing Paul to pay Peter. They have to choose between paying their mortgage or buying their much-needed medication. They have to choose between getting that prescription filled or buying groceries to eat. Why do our seniors, our veterans living like this? Why? Inflation is high. People could barely afford water bills, could barely afford their rental. Yous aren't helping, giving us rental assistance for people that are struggling, and I'm not talking about me. I'm blessed to make good money now because I worked my way up. But there's a lot of families that don't have that income, and they need that support, and yous are taking from them. You're expecting to already take from the struggling to give to people, to give to someone else. I believe in the Lord, and I am a Christian, and I am a Republican. I'm a conservative. But I will tell you that it is embarrassing what you all think that you can do, and you may get away with it, but promise you, people are going to come out and you won't be voted in. I know a lot of you personally. I've helped a lot of you, but that's fine. And I won't say a lot of you, I should say Alicia, but that's another story. I'm just telling you, we are all in this together. Do the right thing, retract this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. Please state your name. Can I have the following people approach and get in line, please? Judy Gardner, Michelle Lynch, Margie Sipon, Mark E. Curie, Janet Diaz, and then I'll continue with the rest. Thank you. State your name, please.
Hello, Margie Sipon. I'm a City of Joliet resident. I need to start off by telling a little bit of a story. My parents are immigrants. I am first generation. I didn't know English before I went to school, and I was made fun of as well. So it's not unique to the Hispanic experience. It's unique. It happens with all immigrants, okay? It made me stronger. It built character. And they came from a country in which there was a communist leader. In this application for the asylum seekers grant, I feel like someone is trying to impose that the government is going to tell people what to do. Mr. Contreras, there was no public meeting. There was no input garnered from the public. No information was provided to the public about this grant. So that is my issue about this grant. It is not a race issue for me. It is a government issue. You work for us. So you breached the trust of the Joliet Township residents, and therefore I ask also for your resignation. Thank you.
I'm cutting line here because my speech is backing hers.
What was your
My
name,
name is Megan Cooper.
Thank you.
And I would just like to read something that was posted on Facebook. True public leaders address serious issues. We don't cower from them. Leaders do the right thing even when it's not the popular thing to do. Thank goodness that we have a leader with compassion, commitment, and encourage for our township. The greedy, ignorant, racist faces have shown their evil and ugly ways again. And these people are very religious church folks. Seriously, this was put on Facebook by somebody that is not part of this board, but somebody who was voted in by us that evidently forgot what their job description was. And that is to take notes, not to make decisions. So I have actually been to township meetings. And Angel, at one of the township meetings, now I don't know if you guys know this, taxpayers' hard-working money, and everybody is sitting up here talking about the struggles that we are going through, that the vets are going through, that the everyday person is going through. Township serves not only unincorporated Joliet, but it serves the city of Joliet as well. And all of your tax-paying dollars that are going to the township, some of those are given away in grants. And how are these grants determined? By Mr. Contreras. He's the one who brings them forward. He's the one who dictates how much they are. And I'm sorry to say this board is a joke because you don't have a voice. They spend taxpayers' money like they're writing from their own personal bank accounts. And that has to stop. And it must stop now. Things are being done out of order when it comes to the township. Like I said, I've been to multiple meetings. And in one of those meetings, it was said by you, Mr. Contreras, was that you and Alicia went and met with an entity when a question was asked about the validity of the money that you were giving away. And you said, well, I met with them, so why should you have a problem with it? Well, I'm here to let you know we all have a problem with it because that is taxpayers' money, not yours. And this board needs to start stepping up and quit letting them spend money and then you guys vote on it because that's not the way that this goes. We elected you to represent us. And in saying that, you guys are supposed to approve things before they are actually paid out or any contracts have been written. And I know personally that hasn't been done because I have been to those meetings. And I will say this in closing because I'm not going to say too much else, is that we're talking about over $8 million here. We need to start looking at how you are already spending taxpayers' dollars. There needs to be an audit of the audit to see exactly what you're doing. Because instead of spending taxpayers' money by giving out grants, I don't know how many of you guys want free money too. I'm just saying, lower the tax levy. Because township government, you work for us. And this is not a race situation, Miss Alicia. This is not the things talking about, oh, religious people. I take offense to that Facebook post that you made. This is about right and wrong. And it's simple. It's not about immigration, because immigration is supposed to be legal, not illegal. That's what this is about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Next, that have not come up, Mr. Tim Flattery, Kenneth
John
Coleman,
Sheridan, President Cunningham
Steve
Neighborhood
Kemetz,
Council.
and Carl Farrell, and Eddie
I'm here to address
Alejos.
tonight the board. I want to thank you for allowing us to come here and speak to you tonight. You must have strong bladders. That's all I'm going to tell you, because this old man's been in the bathroom twice. But Angel, I'm really disappointed in the fact that you opened up the meeting tonight with the continuance of a lie. This grant, yes, is to help support the services that have already been provided, to refund the kitty, if you will. But this grant that a lot of people have read is more than just that. You want to open up 900 housing units. You want to pay landlords up to $3,000 a month to support the people and put them into the homes. And you went and lied to the Mitchell family. Ozzie Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell, is probably rolling over his grave right now, seeing what's happening at Peter Claver Center. It's sinful. I talked to the family numerous times. They feel they've been misled by what you're going to do with the building and continue to program for the youth on the south side. It's time that you have to understand that this crowd here tonight has been a rather large crowd. I've never been to one of your township meetings, but I guarantee you that if they do not see some action to withdraw this proposal, or I should say not accept the proposal, because it's not bona fide signed yet, and you don't have a member of understanding from all these people you listed, like the Hartman Center Recreation Center. We know they backed out, they took your lease away. We know that Peter Claver Center, you misled them. And then you talk about Will Grundy Medical Clinic, you got them on there. Was that all a mistake too, with the seal of the fire department, with the seal of Joliet on there? Were all those mistakes too going on to the application that you submitted? I doubt it very much. You didn't do your homework. You were a one-man army going out and do this on your own, and it backfired. It backfired big time. And if this isn't corrected and you withdraw the application, you'll see this continuation of a large meeting. You'll be renting Bicentennial Park in November, December, and January. And to this young man over here, our ancestors came into the front door. Not the back door, not the windows, the front door. That's how America works, sir. I was made fun of too when I was young because I was poor, the way we dressed at school and everything, and made strong character. So I'm ashameful that they called you names at school. We all got made fun of school. A lot of people did in school. Toughen up, soldier. Toughen up. Angel, you need to get this job done. Withdraw that proposal.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm back up here. So Megan Cooper once again. Actually, we forgot something here, and we need to talk about transparency, because that is a platform that you guys ran on. However, Troy Township, DuPage Township, the city of Joliet, all of them provide an agenda packet. And I personally have come to the township requesting that you guys do the same. So, and I was told by your attorney too, me and you had a conversation, right? That legally You don't have to give us the agenda packet, but you could spend our money and do whatever the heck you want any type of way without us even knowing. So we're talking about transparency here. There is no transparency. That's the reason why that this grant was written and none of y'all knew about it. And that is also the reason why a trustee is being appointed tonight. Did anybody know that? And does anybody know who it is? I'm just saying, we want agenda packets, we want transparency, because you work for us.
Mark Curie, Janet Diaz, Herbert Favors, Rigoberto Calderon, Maria de la Luz Alcantar, Jeremy Hines, Shirley, Basoh, Basho, Shirley. And if anybody else wants to get on the podium, you're more than welcome to. And I believe Mary Beth Gannon also.
Mary Beth Gannon.
Perfect timing.
Joliet resident. My family's been here 8 generations since the potato famine. Came here legally. I won't go into all that. But what I want to say is if this township board had any intention of withdrawing that grant, it would have already happened. Nobody would want to sit up here and listen to all of us. They're not going to withdraw it, guys. So what are we going to do? What is everyone in this room going to do after tonight? You tell your stories here, and we're all mad, and none of us want it. What are we going to do? I want to know who knew what about this grant and when. And if you're all mad about this grant, then you better be at City Council next week. You better be supporting the people who stood up for us, supporting Jan Quillman, Larry Hug, Joe Clement. Get to those meetings. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? If not, we're going to go ahead and start with our meeting. Come to the. Thank you. Okay, Supervisor.
All right, I am going to say
Your
something.
name,
I'm Alex Richardson.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. I live here in Joliet, and I am a Native American. So everybody in here is not European, okay? I'm from an Howla tribe out of North Carolina. You can check it if you want to, Google it. And I've been made fun of too. I've been called wetback. I'm not even Mexican. Get over it. And before anything else, and I'm part of the LGBT community. I'm not religious. I'm none of those things. But the very first thing I am is American. You guys forgot that because you don't take care of the Americans here, and you don't take care of Joliet residents either. I'm a taxpayer too. But living in Joliet for 23 years, and you talk about being shot at. I lived in the south side of Chicago for 15 years of my life. Archer and Western. I grew up in McKinley Park, okay? I went through all kinds of trouble. And you know what? I don't go out there and make excuses. I go out there and make a life.
Thank you, sir. Okay. I think that wraps it up. Supervisor?
My name is Trista Brown, and I am an activist in community. I just said the only reason I seem to get a lot of feedback of negativity just for standing up, and I'm really kind of upset about that because if this is a place where we also supposed to be able to speak our mind, that's the only problem I'm having right now. Again, I think a lot of times the problem here is that the only thing that the community is asked is say, just let us know. I believe that when whoever made that decision, they was looking out for the betterment of the people, for their people, whatever, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, what we're saying is, just consult us, just ask us, don't leave us out. And I'm getting a lot of heat, I'm getting a lot of rude things happen to me while I'm sitting here in this audience. And the reason why I speak out, because again, we have people even here in Evergreen that don't have anywhere to live. And we have people over at 311 Iowa Street that people not realize that my sister is one of those people. And I speak out because I've been a native, I've been in Joliet for 63 years, I've been an activist. And when I talk about the one thing that only outraged me was Peter Clever Center, and I tell you why. I was in those meetings with you guys. I came to the Collins Street meeting, and I asked about Peter Clever Center. If anybody remember, we and other people went to Peter Clever Center to help Miss Mitchell to clean that place out. We was talking about people to help us to save Peter Clever Center, way before you guys even started it. So yeah, I take offense to the fact that even in my neighborhood to say that we don't care about this, and I couldn't even spell asylum seekers until you put it in the paper, okay? And the reason I'm saying that because I'm looking at everyone as a whole. But I'd be darned if you're gonna continue to get mad at me because I stand here, because everybody stand here to speak out. We have the right We have the right to speak up and to speak out, just like you do. Now, I have one problem. I thank you again. You've given a lot of grants to other organizations. So I have nothing, I'm not mad at what you guys do. But the same reason that you opened it up that door to tell everybody of the grants, you should have just did the same respect for each one of us. And I think that's what we're saying here. But respect each other. You keep talking about respect and citizenship, but I'm talking about what's actually going on, and I am involved. I hate it when someone told me that I'm not involved and I don't know what I do know. Trust me, because I've been at your meetings. I am involved. I was one of those persons in 1996 when I had cancer and I couldn't work, so I have honored the Township for doing things for people. I know that's what you do. But do not sit here and act like we are nobody. Don't sit up and hear that our voice don't count. Because the reason, one thing about my organization, I speak for myself, not for speak up. We speak out, because we have the right to do so. So please don't downplay us, okay? That's all we're asking. And those who got hatred for me for other reasons, then you're doing the same thing that you're saying we're doing to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Trista.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we are ready. We can't have more people come up. We need to move forward with our meeting. Ms. Perez, is there something pressing you need to say?
There is.
Okay.
I actually, starting off your meeting, you had said about the asylum, and I wanted to just say, if you haven't been to Chicago, please go down Chicago, visit past all the police departments. It's sad, and not just because of what's being put on the police department and the resources that are being exhausted, but it's sad to see the children that are sitting outside on the floors, the people that are begging for money and change, jeopardizing their safety in the streets, you know, because they're not from here. They don't have employment. They're only allowed to sleep in these facilities, and then they have to go out during the day. So I ask you, where are they going to the bathrooms? Look at all the McDonald's, all the little restaurants out there in the city, how they're being overwhelmed. They're locking their bathroom doors now because they don't want to let people in. So again, they didn't bring all these people here to help them and give them a better quality of life, Angel. They brought these people here, and the ones that are making money are all these agencies, these third-party vendors that are supposed to assist them with resources. They're the ones making the money. It's not getting to the little guys. And it's us taxpayers that are footing that bill, just like it's going to happen here. I don't mind paying $5,000 and something a year to my property taxes, because a lot of it goes to the school districts and stuff. But what's sad and despicable is that our kids can't even go to school and enjoy it. They can't even have a great learning experience because they're dealing with fights and just toxicness. We need more navigators. You want to put navigators out there for the Spanish Community Center? Put them in the schools. Teach our kids tools, teach them coping mechanisms, teach them ways to better understand each other. We need to build our future, our children. We need to build them up. We need to take care of our communities before bringing more children into this community where it's already suffering. It's suffering. So I really ask you to take a ride out to Chicago before you say that. And please know that I come from Chicago. I grew up in a little village. I came from nothing. My family struggled. Everything I have, I worked for, just like many other families here. So please be transparent. I've always been taught great leaders keep their people, their teams informed. I'm an HR manager. My team's always aligned. I don't make decisions on my own. I run it across. It's a group effort. I want to get their feedback because that decision impacts all of us. This should be no different. You work for us. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to conclude our open comment, our public comment section, and continue with the business of the day.
Is there anyone else that wants to step forward and comment before we move on to new business? We did this meeting to give everyone the opportunity to speak, so we want to make sure everyone takes advantage of it. All right. Seeing there is none, thank you. We're going to move on to new business. All right. Our first, I know people are talking about grants, but there is a grant we are approving. It is in conjunction with Joliet Township High School CEO program. It's for a program for young individuals that attend this school to be a part of an investor program. It's a community-based program. The township is going to be one of the partners for this. So we're going to be helping them recruit kids to be a part of this program. These are some of the things we normally do. Can I get a motion to approve Joliet Township High School's CEO program in partnership as Joliet Township government as one of the initial chapter agencies to support them in this?
Supervisor, can we get the dollar amount?
Yeah, so the dollar amount for this, it's $5,000. It runs year round, and there's actually multiple entities around the Joliet area that are contributing to this. Joliet Township government does a lot with youth services. Actually, youth organizations have been doing a lot of summer programs, contrary to belief, with other agencies here in the area, and this is just an extension of that.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Arias?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is approving updating our employee handbook. When we got in, it hadn't been updated in well over a decade, and we've been making revisions just to get with the modern times. So this is just to approve our new employee handbook for 2023 version. Can I get a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the new 2023 employee handbook.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Escutia?
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we get a breakdown of what the actual changes were?
Yes. Counsel?
Sure. So largely these changes were all made through, I don't want to put words into, the mouths of anyone else, but like a third-party HR agency. I did review them. I did not amend them extensively, so I can't give you a full breakdown. If there was a track change version of it, I could walk you through them, but offhand, I wouldn't be able to give you a full breakdown because I wasn't involved in that amendment phase.
Call the roll.
Call the second.
Call the roll.
Yeah, roll call, please.
Sure. Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Oh, you guys already voted yes.